All right, happy Tuesday, everybody. Maybe I should check and see. I'm just trying to figure out Jimmy's shirt.
The beer.
Maybe before I ask that on a happy Tuesday, everybody happy? Anybody angry? Anybody want to be angry at the cover three guys? Want to be angry at Donnie? Want to be angry at the Baltimore Ravens defense?
No, because
I'm in a decent mood.
Sportsbook had no skin in the game yesterday, so I'm not.
I thought we shut that down.
Yeah, we did. We did for a little bit.
Can you go bankrupt?
I didn't go bankrupt. I'm just, we're at a pause. We're on an all-time loser.
Are the wheels wobbling?
No, the wheels.
Are we going to retire?
You need to call timeout.
I'm not going to. First off, I'm never going to quit. Okay.
I know you're not going to quit. You love to gamble.
Tell me.
I love to gamble responsibly, Mr. Gary Sharp.
Here's not to be smartly.
Well, no, I'm not very good at it. I'm terrible. I'm made to be, because that's the best part of, Big Cat from Barstool. He's like, I love to gamble, but I might be the worst gambler of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm on that path. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Everything.
I need to do something different.
Win.
But no, I'm not angry. I'm happy.
All right.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you here.
Yeah, nice to be here.
6'10".
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, I am.
Welcome to work.
I know.
You look good.
Thank you.
Bright
I
eye.
appreciate
Are
it.
you farting today?
No.
That's all I hear about on this radio station is you're farting.
Okay.
I did not have that on my
So
bingo
that
cards.
happened. I told you it happened during BROR.
Yeah, it happens during the show.
I know.
And you don't even know until I say, get the spray.
It only happened once. I had to get the spray. Now, Josh,
The first time.
Josh said that you made me buy it. That's not true. I
No.
didn't buy the spray. The spray was just in the office, and I acquired the spray, and now it is here. But yes, I have a flatulence problem, I guess.
It is worse than The Apprentice. I mean, she has her moments too, but
Can
she's
you
also
fix,
cute
can
and
you,
small.
can for the sanity of the people that share a close and, quarters with you, can you fix that?
My flatulence?
Yes.
I
Can
don't
you do
know.
something about
That
it?
is Josh's
I'm-
chair in
I'm
the afternoon,
trying.
so maybe
I-
there's
I-
Yeah,
strategy.
that's right. You're sitting on where Josh sits.
So I get it now. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, next level.
What?
You're
What?
looking for a
Yeah.
rival. You're looking for a rivalry with
No, I'm
Josh. This is
not.
the great opportunity.
Josh and I
Little
are
sauerkraut.
incredibly cordial.
But people yesterday were going, ask Matt why he got bullied on Big Red Overreaction. And I said, I didn't listen to Big Red Overreaction. I doubt that was the case. And they say, no, you got to ask him, why was Josh bullying Matt on Big Red Overreaction?
First off, I did not get bullied on Big Red Overreaction.
I would
okay?
expect you to stand up for yourself if you were.
This was it was two friends.
There
just
has been
joking
friction on that
around
show
and
before.
and also too.
Oh, you're not supposed to joke on the radio? It's supposed to be all serious?
You're not supposed to have
well,
fun.
like you and I,
No
like
smiles.
people don't say you bully me. Like I'm the butt of.
I
most-
bully you because you fart
Okay,
and you then stinks up the studio and you don't even realize it.
you bully me when I have bad takes. That's when you bully.
No, I
me.
leave that to our listeners.
Okay, well,
How you doing, Vincent?
Morning, guys.
What's up, Andy? But it's just, look, I wasn't getting bullied. It was two
Okay,
friends
good.
very much joking around and whatnot. And Josh now, I did get mad at him at one point, though, because he was making a point of every negative comment about me.
Yeah.
He was reading. And I was like,
He
all
was
right,
reading
I
comments.
was like, we're done with that bit. I go, that bit's done. So he stopped doing that. But no,
Yeah, I would
didn't
expect
bully.
you
It
to
was a
stand
good
up for
time.
yourself. So I didn't think you were
can't.
getting bullied. I don't think Josh would bully you.
If I felt like I
Yeah, I
needed
thought
to
you guys
stand
were
up for myself,
BFF now.
I would have stood up for myself.
Yeah, you
we're
guys spent a
cool.
whole
You guys
one
bonded.
week together in Baseball Village.
Yeah.
Yes,
Kansas
that
City
was an
spent
experience.
time in a house.
Too
and
much? Yeah, time in a house.
Oh, that was
there was a
great.
keg.
Yeah.
Now we
So is this the new rivalry on 1620, you against Josh?
That's
no,
a
it's
7
not
gamer.
rivalry at all.
Okay.
That's
We're
a 7
very-
gamer.
We're incredibly cordial. He's like Josh is like a friend.
Got Josh
He's
and 7.
Cool. He's nice.
Home field
you know?
advantage.
It's not a rivalry. It's just
You
I
seem
got
to be a little bit. There's an opening there.
I am a little annoyed that I'm being called Matt McFarter now because I had the decency to.
That's what they call you in the afternoon show.
That's what some people call me in the comments, Matt McFarter.
How about that?
I know it's true. Okay, I'm aware.
Not to be
But I
confused
mean,
with college
but, like,
football coach
here's-
Mac
here's- okay,
McWhorter.
You know what? Let me tell you what my real problem. I'll tell you what my real problem is.
All right, so back to is
Wait,
everybody
wait.
happy today?
No. My real
On a
problem. My
Tuesday?
real problem is this: if anybody had the right to make fun of my farting or make fun of my flatulence,
Yeah.
okay, it was you, okay,
Yeah.
because people know how I sit. I'm facing you, right?
Yeah.
So you're
don't-
crop
you-
dusting our fearless
you
leader.
get the brunt of it, okay? Like I'm shocked it took us this long to have this problem.
I let it go for about 9 months.
Okay.
I was very aware of it.
And you didn't say anything?
Well, that's why we light a match periodically, and you might look at me, or I would say, I wonder if I should go buy a candle. I was trying to ease
He was
you
trying
in.
to keep it professional.
Okay.
Everybody has one that gets loose once in a while.
Okay, well then,
It's just you were like trending towards Joe DiMaggio's streak.
about
Wow.
a week ago, though, you...
That was a little too much. I said, go get the spray.
No, you weren't. I mean, you didn't like blow up or start screaming at me, but you told me that you're going to pass out.
Which is worse than screaming because he'd
Were
be
we
out.
close? Were we actually close?
It was bad.
Okay.
It was bad.
And so if anybody has the right to make fun of me about it, it's you.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to make fun about it if you might have a health issue.
Josh literally was out of the room.
Oh,
He wasn't even in the room.
so he did a drive-by
No.
4 blocks away out of the subdivision. Nuclear on you?
This is the problem I have with it. He wasn't even in the room. He didn't even smell the fart. What he smelled,
He was in
Then
1180.
how would he know?
what he smelled was the air freshener. He goes, he goes, why is there air freshener? And I go, well, a gas.
You could
And
have
I
just
just
said it
wanted
was
to-
stuffy in here
and
and
I
you
just
thought it
wanted to-
Well,
smelled.
I mean, you told him the truth.
And I'm like, nah, shh. But he thought it was like
Uh-huh.
the biggest deal ever. And then that became the like whole crux of the show. And I was just like, really? Because I had the decency. So you're telling me that I was better off not spraying
Yeah.
and I should have just let him walk back in here.
Lie.
And maybe it would have gone away.
Lie. Who was your
at
board
some
op?
point. Peter.
Oh, don't blame the Peter man. Yeah.
I'll never blame Peter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my one problem.
If the Huskers had won,
didn't
this have
do
been a big
anything
deal.
Wrong. I didn't do anything wrong at all. And then it has turned into this now.
Any chance we can get a candle over there?
Yes, I can buy us a
Pumpkin.
No,
You
not
like
pumpkin. But then
You're out on pumpkin?
yesterday, me not turning on my alarm and making one of the stupidest decisions I've made in quite some time.
You have many more.
Just added fuel to the fire of everything, and it's incredibly annoying. So,
Oh.
Okay. Well, good morning.
but I'm happy. I'm happy.
Good
to be here.
morning.
I'm happy to be here.
So the Ravens got clawed last night. If you didn't stay up to watch Monday Night Football, what were you doing? We finally had a real primetime game. That's what primetime football is supposed to look like on Monday Night Football. You know, if that game was like the Super Bowl and the things that happened in that game, running the triple option, the Detroit defense, the way they locked up Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry fumbling again, some great plays, some great play calls. I think your team's in the wrong division. That sucks for you. But we would be labeling that Monday Night Football game as like one of the best if it was a Super Bowl game.
Oh God!
Ended up 38-30 Detroit.
Wow.
I mean, hello, Detroit Lions.
Yeah, they that was a statement win.
I mean, they kicked some.
They looked really good. I've never seen anybody bottle Lamar Jackson up in a pocket like that, the way that they did in the second half. I mean, the
Spags was watching like
they just did not get moved off the ball. The Lions are for real. They were the team that I thought was going to take a major step back this season. I was wrong on that. Good thing I didn't bet on it.
thought it was over after week 1.
I did too. I was really excited for that to
usually how it
happen.
goes.
Apparently, you don't need Ben Johnson to still have an incredibly dynamic and hard offense to stop.
They did a great job last night against Lamar. Now, Lamar has Lamar moments where he's like, whoa, geez. And then you watch like his film from when he was playing at Louisville or when he was playing in South Florida as a high schooler, and you're like, last night they clogged the lanes. They tackled well. Detroit tackled really well, and they sacked him 7 times, but they always had eyes on him. And, you know, he couldn't, the magic wasn't there like Lamar does, was going to pull a game out. But Dan Campbell, hello. I mean, big kahunas for him. Their play calling, this in that game, like both sides, the play calling and speed of the game was on such a different level. And that's what made it, like, it would be great to have Monday Night Football games. We don't need to shove down New York market down our throat. Like watching Sunday Night Football compared to last night was like JV to varsity and maybe JV to college. But that, again, Monday Night Football doesn't always get the greatest slate. Everything goes to Sunday. But this week, Monday Night Football was greater than Sunday Night Football. But that's what a primetime game is. The best teams, not the biggest markets, the best teams. I thoroughly enjoyed that last night. It was awesome. And I had no team I was rooting for other than the stark reality that Sunday at Arrowhead, there is going to be either the Baltimore Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be 1-3.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. If I'm the Ravens, I'm looking at the NFL being like, hey, next year, can you like ease us into this? Because they've had to play the Bills, a good Lions team, the Chiefs, Now, granted, they got the Browns sandwiched in between all that, but you got to play the Lions, Browns, and Chiefs. You got to play the three teams that were in the championship games to begin the season. Okay, if it were
Chargers,
the Chiefs,
beat the teams
Eagles,
in front of you.
if
Ravens,
so good,
Lions are right around the corner. The Chiefs. How about this? So I'm already on record. The Chiefs are not very good. Hang on till week 7, Sloopy. They are going to be 3 straight games at home where they're going to be an underdog.
They're going to, well, wow. They were.
Ravens, yeah.
Were they in under, what was the last time they were, the third game? Eagles game?
They're going to be when they play the Lions.
When they play the Lions. I mean, I do think that you guys look closer to what you were last year against the Giants, albeit it was the Giants. So I don't know how much stock we really have to
They won a
into
game.
it.
They're not 0-3. That's all that matters.
I don't think you guys look that bad against the Chargers. I mean, the lack of pass rush was incredibly concerning, but I mean, if you clean up some of the things that happened in the very first game in the first quarter, you probably score another touchdown, and that's an even more competitive game than that. I think you're better than what you're giving off.
The defense has played well the last 2 weeks, but like I would love to have Kansas City in this game on Sunday at full go because Baltimore's given up 104 points. Okay.
Wow.
They got gashed. And they've hung their hat on not only Lamar and Derrick Henry, who apparently when he fumbles in bunches, and he fumbled again last night in a key situation. But Baltimore has always been pretty stout on defense. They got gashed between the tackles last night. It seemed like everything that Detroit ran, when they would go between the tackles, they were having huge success. They've given up 104 points. So their defense is on skates. And they played Buffalo and they played Detroit. But I'm thinking, man, that'd be great for Kansas City. And Kansas City's offense is very pedestrian. So unfortunately, but one of those teams is going to be 1-3. I think that's wild.
I had to watch David Montgomery just absolutely bulldoze over Ravens over and over and over again while knowing that the Bears had him and just let him go to a division rival is one of the most frustrating things.
How about this? How about Iowa State had him?
Yes.
I think every Saturday and Sunday just reiterates the point. I don't think we give enough credit to Iowa State football and Matt Campbell.
Because they just, every week it just seems
they
like
just
they
win.
Just have dudes. Yeah.
They just win. They don't have a streak of long not beating a ranked team.
Yeah.
I mean, they beat top 10 teams. And then look at the guys that are in the NFL. And it seems like every Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Monday, the Iowa State guys seem to come through.
Well, Jaden Higgins looked incredible for Houston over the on Sunday, and I think he's actually going to turn out to be a legitimate threat in the league. I don't know. Do teams like Indiana and Iowa State, like, do they make Nebraska fans mad seeing their success and seeing how good they are, considering that they aren't football powers or in theory shouldn't have as much?
I think there's a fraction that does. I mean, you're always comparing yourself to other programs. Unfortunately, until you get to the stage where people compare themselves to you. Yeah. But I mean, it's the reality. I mean, Iowa State's been a better football program than Nebraska has. Is there more resources and a chance to break through and get to an echelon that Iowa State can't get to that Nebraska possibly could? Yes. But
sure,
Iowa State's been a better football program of late. Wins on the field and guys that are in the league. I mean, that's the reality. And that's also having some stability at head coach. I mean, Matt Campbell now, we're trending. He's been there for a while. So it's just like year after year, you know what Iowa State is going to be.
What I think what can be frustrating, because I'm looking at it like if a Nebraska fan were looking at Iowa State, right? Like, I think that there might be some frustration from fans looking at what Iowa State does and comparing it to what Nebraska does, because it really just boils down to Iowa State just has a great coach. And that's just really, like, it's not as if Ames is 10 times better than Lincoln, and it's this warm weather destination place that you like absolutely want to go to college to.
No, it snows there 12 months out of the year.
Well, the wind always blows in Ames.
Always.
And it's not as if Iowa State has more money and Iowa State has this like mega donor and Iowa State is able to buy all this talent. It's not like Iowa State.
They're a poverty program. I mean, they are, when they say we're a developmental program, they stick with that and they develop.
And it's worked.
But that, and I think another like frustrating thing too about all that is that Nebraska is attempting to be that. And in Nebraska, I mean,
well, Nebraska's caught in between. So you want to be a developmental program, but you know that you don't want to be Iowa State, you want to be Ohio State,
Sure.
and you have to develop because Ohio State develops as well,
Mhm.
but you also have to spend money. The discussion that came up yesterday. So Nebraska's stuck in that place where they have access to resources. How much do they have access? But can you balance being a development program against a portal program? And then here's the thing. Like, I was listening to Dabo yesterday, and are you going to give more grace to a head coach that's struggling a little bit if he struggles with a portal-heavy roster or a homegrown roster? Like, Dabo's big thing is that's a homegrown roster.
Yeah.
That's scary. You could get a mulligan if you spend money, because everybody wants you to spend money, and you spend money and you spend the wrong money and guys flame out. You might get a mulligan for a year and go, okay, didn't work out.
Yeah.
You spent, you weren't able to properly vet them, didn't work out. But if you're struggling with homegrown guys that you recruited and are in your program and that you're supposed to develop and then move them through and get them out, and you're losing that way, I think that's when the scrutiny gets more and more intense, like it is in Clemson, South Carolina.
That's why I picked them to win the national championship, was because they were a homegrown roster, was because Norvell, to what you're describing, is essentially what happened to Mike Norvell in Florida State last year. Right?
Yeah, and he got a little bit of a mulligan because it was the money instead of the homegrown dudes.
Yes, and it was just one of those things where, all right, hey, it didn't come together. You didn't have good chemistry. This is going to happen. What is happening in Clemson, the fact that they are homegrown and the fact that they have been together for multiple years, they have built a culture, they have come up in Dabo Swinney's coaching, that is a systematic problem. That isn't a problem that you just, all right, hey, we're gonna re-rack the deck, we're gonna try again next year. The issue in Clemson, you could argue, would take multiple years to fix, because you have to completely tear down the program in a way by its studs and rebuild it back up, because the way that you build it is failing greatly. So yeah, absolutely. I think Dabo gets way more criticism and way more scrutiny than a coach that just fails in the portal. Also, too, Dabo's got to kind of eat his words, in my opinion, because he acted in a way that was all high and mighty, not dipping into the portal, as early as other teams did. And he did that, and he acted all great or this or that and said, oh, this is how we're going to do things. And now it's absolutely fallen back on his face.
All right, coming up in about an hour, Sam McKewon will stop by with some thoughts after Michigan and some things that Matt Rule said yesterday. Kind of interesting, including one that was a bad look for somebody in the Nebraska football program yesterday, in my opinion. He'll stop by at 7:30. Matt will have a run through the tape. We'll look back at a play from the 3-point loss to Michigan. Speaking of 3 o'clock kickoff, Michigan State, Nebraska, a week from Saturday. Brian Christopherson will be in at 8:40, a little bit earlier this morning, because Nebraska basketball down in Lincoln, men's basketball, second day of practice, and it's open to the media. So BC wants to get a front row seat to see Bear K. See Bear K and his new body. See what he's doing.
There's other guys to look at.
There's Kendall.
There's Oogie.
Yeah. You know what? I ran
Jamarcus.
I was having a discussion with a fellow season ticket holder yesterday for Nebraska basketball.
Okay.
He's already he's excited to see the new guys, but he's like, you know what? We already have this NIL problem. He goes, with basketball. And he goes, I'm not expecting a lot. I said, thanks. See you in November. So BC will be joining us at 8:40. That's the lineup brought to you by the Rooferys at John Higgins.
We got to call that guy who made that Dana t-shirt for Connor, and we got to see if he can make you a Bear K t-shirt. Bear K's new body has to be Gary, what are you looking forward to see? Bear K's new body's down to 245. Oh my God, breaking news. Guy who might as well be a professional basketball player gets in shape.
I need to figure out a way to get him as a regular guest. Like, could we do a spot, every week on the show?
Why'd you miss that shot?
Do we have a Turkish restaurant in Omaha that could sponsor it? That could be something.
I don't know. I might be the only guy that's rooting for him.
Why didn't you properly switch on to that guy on the pick and roll, Bear K? How about you get off the nail, Bear K?
Hey, you know what? It was a learning experience.
Breakfast with Bear K.
He's got a new body. Maybe he's got a new attitude. He got a lot of money.
learning experience. Some learning experiences are fun. Okay, some learning experiences.
Some
are
people learn
enjoyable.
on the bench. Maybe he learned on the bench. I'm not ready to get rid of him. I'm hoping that the Dutchman can help him out.
Well, Gary, whether or not I'm ready to get rid of him or not, it really doesn't matter. I'm not the one making decisions, and I'm not the one giving out contracts.
All right, I will.
So
I
I'm
will
gonna have
make
to deal with watching him anyway.
I will make a big proclamation about the Turkish Nightmare.
All right, put it on the board.
He will be one of the 10 in the rotation.
How about that?
There you go.
God, I hope so.
You heard it here first.
Well, there are some that don't agree. They're like, no, I think he should have a ticket like me.
If he wasn't in the rotation, he would be the biggest waste of money since Cristiano Felicio. Okay, that's how bad that would be. Exactly. You don't even know who that guy is.
He plays soccer.
You've never even heard of Cristiano Felicio.
No, I have.
He made $8 million a year for 4 years and did nothing. All he did was grab Omar Sheik's water.
That's better than Bobby Bonilla.
I don't know. I think Jeff Sims would probably want to enter the conversation.
Oh, biggest. Wow. You know what? At some point, maybe not like this year, but maybe in like 2 or 3 years, you could probably do biggest waste of money in insert college name here.
Sounds like a Take 5. A series.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you might be trending towards tackles that play at the University of Nebraska.
Or guards. Last year. Micah?
Oh, I call him a tackle.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Well, let's hope that's not the case when they play Michigan State. The guy that you pay a lot of money to is starting at left tackle. Please. Thank you. That's all I ask. It's a simple request.
If you
know what? Sometimes you got to overlook things. You got to play them. You know what? Is 5 yards, getting penalized 5 yards, is that greater than running for over 200 behind a left tackle? Just asking for the running back coach.
How many?
But we don't ask the running back coach who should be running back too, but that's okay.
That was a weird moment.
EJ Barthel had a bad day yesterday. There you go. I said it. I said it.
That was a very weird moment.
Yeah. I don't know if Rule was just, kind of, if he was taken out of context or what he was trying to say about asking his staff. Your running back coach. You're familiar with him. He's been here your entire time. Actually was in Carolina. Maybe ask him who he thinks should be running back too, instead of saying, I presented it to the staff.
Sure.
Okay.
That is true.
Okay.
That is,
just maybe go to a guy who, he's there for a reason and say, let's just decide who is going to be RB2. And let's also decide that for the sanity of my timeline, that I don't need to see Miami fans that are sharing that now Marty Brown at Miami, and Nebraska may have not had a great shot with Marty Brown.
Sure.
But that Marty Brown is involved in Miami's tush push. Okay. Maybe just for my timeline, so I don't get infiltrated by Miami fans or Michigan fans that all of a sudden got triggered yesterday about something.
Why'd they get all mad?
I thought they were all friends.
It wasn't me, but I noticed that it kept coming up on my For You. Michigan fans had a great time in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Like they were treated well. They loved the atmosphere. They loved the stadium. But somehow they think that we do not give them proper respect.
Well, I don't think they, after losing to Oklahoma,
and it becomes a Dylan Underwood discussion.
Yeah, how much respect do they want to be given? I mean, I think
they won the football game, but your quarterback was not better than Nebraska's quarterback, and Nebraska's quarterback was under duress all day. So there, end of everybody wins. Okay, everybody wins.
But according to Tom Fornelli, Dylan Raiola, it doesn't matter. So I saw that.
It pains me to see that because I like those guys.
Yeah.
I've listened to that Cover 3 podcast for a long time. I got to know Bud because Bud lives in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I always say about those kind of things.
Sure.
And we can get further into this because I think Dylan is exposing media, whether they be local or national.
Sure.
Whenever you get into a debate in sports, if you don't take the emotion out of it
mm-hmm.
and you bring the emotion and personal feelings, you're in trouble because stick to the facts. It just seemed to me listening to them that they have a personal vendetta against Dylan. And so immediately that exposes you, that you don't know ball. And for some reason, you don't like the kid. You've met the kid briefly at Big Ten Media Days, but it seems kind of personal. And that's really, really odd for somebody, for a popular podcast of guys that, usually are really good breaking it down, but
Mhm.
man, they were getting it yesterday.
Why does the whole Dylan Mahomes thing bother so many people so much? Because I'll admit,
Because it's overplayed and it's a joke, and I don't know.
but it's not
because
Dylan's fault.
It's easy pickings outside of this fan base, okay? Because it's the Nebraska struggling, so they're a pinata.
Sure.
You know, what if Nebraska won on Saturday?
Oh, we'd
yes,
be
so
calling him.
I mean, whether right or wrong, that's the lay of the land.
But also too, it's funny to see some of these tweets that people have about Dylan and the whole Mahomes thing. And some of them have had to go back and quote tweet it and be like, oh, by the way, he is good at football. Like he's very good. Like he could play.
Hey, you said this yesterday. Other people have said it. I mean, Dylan's a little bit to blame because he's leaned into it.
Yes.
But the joke is overplayed. Okay?
But I just don't know why I agree with
because
you with the whole
because,
personal vendetta thing. Like, why would you
he's
have
one
it?
of the more recognizable quarterbacks in college football, and it's clickbait. It is absolute clickbait. You know what the click I want to click on is somebody that is a X's and O's guy that breaks down the good, the bad, and the ugly of Dylan. That's what I'll click on. But anytime, and I'll listen to content nationally about Dylan because I'm curious of what they're saying. But once they go to that card, I'm out. Like a fat kid in dodgeball.
Sure.
We're done.
But with Fornelli, I watched the video on his Instagram, and it was absolutely incredible because it's him. Like, it's more than clickbait for Fornelli, in my opinion, because he's actually getting upset in the video. Like he seems like
he made it personal, and I don't know what Dylan did to hurt him.
No,
or it's like, hey, I'm going to take this stance because I know that anything Nebraska from the Nebraska fan base or outside will get attention, and especially when it's 15.
They posted a video of his arguments and what he was saying about Dylan, and then under his video, right, top half was the video, the bottom half was Dylan's game versus Michigan. It was a Dylan highlight reel. Like, how are you crapping on his play and how he throws the ball and how he maneuvers around in the pocket and saying that it's bad for him and it would drive Nebraska fans crazy when what I'm watching below your takes on how bad he is literally a 3-minute highlight reel of how good he is at football and him making plays out of nothing.
I mean, for Dylan to get away from that, you got to win football games.
Yeah.
I mean, but in the meantime, he's done enough. But when you win football games, it falls on deaf ears for people that are taking cracks like that because then they're like, whoa, they're 4-0. They're 4-1. They're 7-1. They're 6-2. Why aren't you talking about his play? You're still on that.
Or you can say, yes, he looks like Mahomes. He's winning.
Well, but you guys are right. You guys are correct. But there is a part of me that is irked because yes, they did not win the football game, but they didn't win the football game not because of his play.
That's not, but that, this, it's clickbait. Nebraska lost.
It's not going to get clicks.
They're not going to talk about numbers or making plays. They're going to talk about getting sacked, holding on the ball, all of that kind of stuff. The joke is overplayed. It's out of date. It's kind of, people in this fan base are rallying and they're like, you know what? None of this BS.
Like you said before, winning cures all.
Yeah, it's
because then you got to talk about winning football.
It feels like a lot of it's personal, and I don't know. The kid barely puts anything out there. He's quirky, all that kind of stuff, but he's not like taking shots at national guys. Just you want attention, you talk about Dylan. Okay, you want attention, you talk about Arch.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of unfortunately the lay of the land in some podcasts and media outlets right now.
But what's so frustrating?
Instead of doing what I think a lot of people, especially in this fan base, want, hey, let's talk some X's and O's. Let's talk football.
No, absolutely.
Show me you're a football guy.
Well, here's the thing too about like Fornelli's argument like falls on deaf ears with the whole like he throws on different platforms and whatnot. Dude, can you go and look at his statistics? Because he completed 73% of his passes. So yeah, I'd be driving myself crazy watching him if he wasn't completing any passes or if he wasn't like being efficient. But he is. And with Arch, yes, in terms of the clickbait, the things are the same, but at least Arch is playing bad. Like at least Arch is not a good quarterback right now, and he's a detriment to his team, and he is the reason why Texas is being held back. Dylan is not even remotely close to the reason why Nebraska is going through the struggles they're going through.
And they'll say, Well, 5-star quarterback, he's 10-7. Quarterback wins and losses is not a stat. I used to be young man. I used to be in your boat.
Yeah.
I used to get upset by this. Now I know the facts. It seems personal. And once you go there, just stop listening. Okay. And you lose credibility. And Dylan exposes media to a personal vendetta because what will happen? Let's say, knock on wood, Dylan has a great month of October and Nebraska finds a way on November 1st to beat USC.
Mm-hmm.
What are those same guys going to be doing?
They're going to be praising him.
But are they going to say, you know what? My opinion changed. Dylan is much different from the last time that he faced a team that could disrupt him in the backfield.
No.
Okay,
What they're going to say actually is, oh, he's started doing all the things that I said he should do.
Yeah.
And because he
so
did
you're
that,
almost doing clickbait because you have this outrage. You know what? The best way to have outrage, move on. All right? Don't give them what they want. All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back, get some calls here to wrap up the hour. A good lineup, a ball lineup. We will get back to the running back discussion, among other things. Rule said some interesting things yesterday. I think he played it down the middle on how to handle the Michigan game. Plus, we'll talk about Nepos. Who doesn't like some Nepos? 14-minute video to say goodbye. Whoa! 14-minute video.
14 minutes? I saw a minute.
There's a longer version of it.
Is it good or is it?
I mean, he's for all of the woes and the issues.
Yeah,
man can coach basketball. He changed Auburn basketball. Yeah. Now will his son get the 1-year interview? Nice job, Nepos. It's 40 past the hour. It's Gary and Matt with Jimmy on 1620 The Zone. All right, Oma Dome, you failed last night. It rained for like 3-4 hours straight.
Yeah, I had no clue there was a thunderstorm until it
Yeah.
was popping up in my, to be young and oblivious like me.
That is, I would love to be back in those that role. You want to switch?
Can I be honest with you?
You want to be the adult? I'll be the kid.
There was yesterday I was sitting down and I was like, you know what? It could be cool to be back in college again.
That doesn't go away. You'll still be saying that in 20 years.
I know. Because just my just stupidity and childishness was I was very disappointed with it, and I was like, God,
your worst
wishes I could go back.
Your worst day in college still better than your best day as a grown up.
No, I disagree.
You
with
say that now until you pull a muscle sneezing.
I disagree with that. I've had a better day as a grown up already, as I already have in college.
Oh,
I had some fun times.
Oh,
as a grown up?
Yeah, in my 9 months. Or do you not think? Would you not consider me okay? That's a great question. Do you think I'm a grown up?
Oh, there sounds like a poll.
Do I got to go back 24 hours?
Yeah. So you
use the data you're given.
Hey, let's talk to a grown up on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. Nebraska ball Mike, who is 0 for 1 with hype speeches, didn't work out.
Who did I say was going to win the game? 6 weeks before the game was played.
Okay. Well, you and Matt can hold hands and do a victory lap.
I'm not doing a victory lap.
Matt Rule.
Uh-oh.
You have to play the scoreboard and not the team, not the name on the front of the jersey of the other team. If you put 3 points on the board, who knows? Okay? Second thing, we have no offensive line. We have 2/3 of a defense. McCullough's a pro. Okay? We will win more than 7 games. And I can skip 70 hours of programming this week.
Okay.
Because I don't want to listen to this fan base whine about the things that are broken when we will be better than we were last year.
All right, so that's true. They are better than they were last year. I don't think people are whining. I think just the facts. Nobody's whining. I mean, people are upset that it's year 3 and some things haven't been fixed that have been allowed to linger, and you would think by year 3, especially physicality would not come up.
Stop with the year 3 thing.
Well,
first of all,
you
year 3 thing needs to go away.
No, when I say year 3, he's the head coach for 3 years. I didn't say the year 3 thing that everybody wants to point to, that there's a breakthrough in year 3. The question would be like a game on Saturday where the physicality part, shouldn't that be further along in year 3? That part.
Not when you pay $2 million for 2 offensive linemen that don't block anybody.
Well, that's why we question. That's why I say, shouldn't it be further along?
And by the way, first of all,
jeez,
for those people in Ann Arbor, the only reason Mr. Underwood is there is because Larry's wife went to Michigan.
That is true. That is 100%
Can we relax?
true.
He'd be down in LSU getting his ass kicked by Nussmeier right now. And he's not better than Dylan. I saw it with my own eyes.
Yes, that'd be correct.
They got a better team right now. But we will have a better record than 7-6. We are not beating USC. We don't have the speed. We don't have the offensive line. Same thing. Defense can try their ass off. We don't have it.
All right, so
unless you allocate the right money and you know what your flaws are going into next year, same problem's going to happen.
What if you allocate money, Mike, but not everybody wants to be here?
We're not Texas. We're not LSU. If we're not careful, we're going to be Minnesota really soon, and I hate it.
Okay. All right. I won't hear from you the rest of the week. It'll be very sad on the show. All right.
I don't
Call
have
back
to
next
talk
week.
because I'm tired of this fan base whining for every game we lose.
I don't think people are whining after
win a
this.
national championship.
Okay. All right, Mike. Be good.
Bye.
All right.
I mean, what?
People are disappointed. They're deflated. They're frustrated. because the narrative needs to be not the narrative, but results driven.
Yes.
And the narrative is still the narrative of where we're going instead of what we've done.
But I think with this, what we're learning a little bit and what people have to deal with is that sometimes that you are going to make decisions as a franchise to spend money in certain places, and those decisions just aren't going to work out. And it happens every single year with every single pro team across the country. And this is kind of the first time where Nebraska spent money, and that money brought legitimate 8-9 win expectations. And
it also brought
failed.
some. I mean, not everybody is. I mean, there's some guys that have already given you your return on investment. I would look at a couple of wide receivers. I'd say they hopped in and they're starting, and I'd like to see them have more targets. I'd like to see Key show up in the second half of big games, but that's not one where I go, wow, that investment sucked. And
sure, God,
and he just mentioned McCullough. Yeah, spent a little money on McCullough. I mean, it's there's Nebraska has access, but does everybody want to be here? That's the thing. It's just because you have money and you're Nebraska and everybody thinks you come to Nebraska doesn't mean everybody wants to come to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's part of the reality as well. It's what is the tagline? Nebraska's not for everybody. All of us that live here.
Yes.
Great tourism.
But they really it seemed like this coaching staff and this recruiting staff, if you will, have done a pretty good job of making Lincoln as attractive as it possibly can.
They have to think outside of the box.
Yeah. And they've done that.
All right, we'll finish with Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Hey, boys. How you doing?
Good. Hey, Matt's in today, so you can tell Matt
Yes.
everything you told me yesterday that started a firestorm. So go ahead.
Okay, Matt. Nice to see you. What happened?
Thank you, Andrew. It's great to talk to you, man. I've missed you. I really have.
I got a lot of. It's Creighton basketball season, and I'm just going to start off with saying Creighton's probably the Elite Eight. Nebraska can go win the crown, whatever. Play where it matters.
You have become a heel.
Dylan Raiola, I said yesterday, should have been taken out for a few series because you had an offensive line that wasn't blocking and you had a non-really mobile quarterback. And I think a lot of the flack with Nebraska fans, any criticism against their quarterback, Raiola, their chosen one, they get honked off about.
No.
Gary?
Okay. The criticism is when you make it personal and the whole Mahomes stuff.
Well, yeah, but I didn't make it personal, but I just stated facts. And the caller after me said that was ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. He's still
Despite the fact that let Andrew finish.
What's the comment? What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over again, expecting different results.
And we were doing that. Every series we were doing the same. We were putting him back there. The line was getting crushed. And we're expected him to either scramble out of it, which is not his strong suit, or make a quick decision, which is not sometimes his strong suit.
Making quick decisions is probably the best thing he's done all year.
He hasn't played anybody all year.
He played Michigan and he played Cincinnati, and he had over a 70% completion percentage and multiple touchdowns and one turnover in those games.
Let's look at those passes. They're dink and dunk.
Yeah, because they're quick decisions.
They're short.
So what is it? Wait. What is it, Andrew? Is it that they're dink and dunk, or is he not making quick decisions? Because it's not the same thing. It's one or the other.
Well, and if you want to add on to it, he doesn't throw a long ball. I don't know what it is. We don't even try to throw a long ball.
Okay.
I mean, so I'm a defensive coordinator. I've got a non-mobile quarterback and who doesn't like to throw a long ball.
A non-mobile quarterback is an inadequate way to describe Dylan Raiola. Because if you watch that game, he evaded 3 other sacks. Okay, he evaded 3 other sacks. One of those sacks went from one of the more explosive plays of the game. And so if you're telling me he's a non-mobile quarterback, he doesn't evade those sacks. Yeah, is he going to sprint down the field like Michael Vick and hit his head on the goalpost? No, he's not. But he can maneuver around in the pocket and create extra plays, which he did multiple times against Michigan. He's the first quarterback since 2021 to go for over 300 yards against that team.
But why not throw somebody in there that's a little more mobile just to see what happens?
Because TJ Lateef is better at nothing else than Dylan Raiola is when it comes to playing the quarterback position. And you want a more mobile quarterback in there. Okay, fine. Nebraska will go from having 3 yards a carry to 4.5 yards a carry with TJ Lateef out there.
I would take a guy that has played against Power 4 competition, playing against Michigan, then the first time that he plays against Power 4 is Michigan, and that pass rush and your tackles can't block, and you're going to kill the kid who might make a poor decision because he doesn't know what to do.
I'm just saying there's,
I'm not taking Dylan off the field. I'm just not. Andrew, and we got to move on. I appreciate you calling. I'm not taking Dylan off the field. I don't like those packages. Is there something that when you get closer to the red zone? Yes. But I mean, that's all. That was a whole different world on Saturday. Now, there is a discussion a little bit about depth of routes, and because Nebraska did adjust. They had wide receivers that running 10-plus yard routes that they had to come back and adjust. Mm-hmm. There's another part, like going back and watching the game yesterday.
Yeah.
Wide receivers for Nebraska need to get out of their breaks quicker.
Oh, okay.
There's my run through the tape.
Yeah, I have
tease for an hour.
I'll go ahead and look at that.
I got a good solid take about CBS covering Big Ten that I'll share as well.
I went back and rewatching some things. I loved it. Maybe we might disagree, but I thought they were showing some angles and like their replays.
Oh no,
I'm so much better.
You'll hear.
I'll tell you, this will be a high quality run through the tape because we'll have some all 22 angles.
Well, get ready if you don't like deep routes, and is Dylan running Rule's offense or Dana's offense? Because there's a lot of teams that will keep the offense in front of them. It will play more Cincinnati-ish. Yeah. Michigan State plays almost the same exact defense at times. All right, we got to take a break. Hour in the books. Sam McKewon coming up in the next hour on 1620 The Zone. All right. Reset for hour number 2 of Gary and Matt. You know, I was thinking last night watching that Monday night game.
I hope my team beats one of these other teams next week.
Well, I do. I would be very happy to wake up Monday morning and be 2-2.
Why is Jake Bates so good at kicking indoors?
No, but you know what? It is insane to think that 10 years ago, you would have never attempted a 67-yard field goal. And now teams like, oh, it's 60? Well, let's think about it. Attempted a 67-yard field goal. It appeared to be long enough. It was just wide to the left. But 10 years ago, not a chance.
Do we need a Nerf kicking?
Excuse me?
Do we need Nerf? You know what that means.
A Nerf ball?
Like
no,
the Nerf ball?
no. Like you never heard it. We have to Nerf that, or they nerfed it.
I played with a Nerf ball when I was a kid.
Like a whistle.
Is this changed? Is this something new?
This is great.
This is generation.
So Nerf is, I guess you can characterize it as like a Gen Z video game thing.
Shocking.
Okay.
Where if something's OP, you know what OP is?
Ocean Pacific.
Mhm.
No.
You ever go to San Diego?
Yeah.
Overpowered.
By the way, Padres clinched 4th time in the last 6 years. You know, it's the first time they've ever been back-to-back playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying after Freddie Formin got the walk-off last night.
It's all
First
looking
time
like
ever?
Cubs and Padres.
That's
yeah.
that's immediately what they said. And I was like, really? So whatever. But we need to beat the Mets.
Mhm.
Okay. I have home field advantage.
Um,
Continue on. Sorry.
Yeah.
overpowered.
Overpowered. Okay.
So if
Is
something
this an offensive line discussion from Saturday?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
If something's OP,
Mhm.
you nerf it. You you lessen it. Yeah, there you go. Attaboy, bet. Like you make it worse. You go back in like game developers.
Real.
Will go back in and they'll be like, oh, we'll lower like the statistics and we'll lower the attributes and we'll make it worse. We'll actively make this worse.
Okay.
Oh, I know.
You know,
that strategy.
In order to, to make sure that the game is more playable. What I'm saying is, do we have to nerf kicking? Do we have to make kicking harder because now all these guys are making all these?
Are you Stan when it comes to Nerf kicking?
I'm Larry David. Larry David called Rock when they were making the USFL, and he told The Rock, "Hey, how about you just get rid of the goalposts? Like, how about you just eliminate them? Like, we just don't do kicking."
Peyton came up with new rules last night.
And I'm
football.
not. What was his new rule?
I don't remember.
I'm not anti-kicking, but I'm also not like for kicking like over, like being overpowered and like being like the one of the absolute deciders and benefactors in a game.
I'm a little sus.
So, yeah.
You're whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I want it to come down to like touchdowns. I don't want it to come down to because I got this guy, from Europe who grew up playing soccer and he can hit a ball 74 yards, and you're going to score points every single drive because
people like points.
This guy grew up with the golden leg of Zeus.
Hey, Cap. I'm interested.
Cap is, I don't even use Cap. Cap's yesteryear. I mean,
what about 8?
What?
8.
Like you ate that?
If you perform exceptionally well, you say 8.
Yeah. You ate. You ate.
Like
up
there's
there.
a good vibe in the studio right now.
How about at the end of at
And
the
I
end
look
of the
pretty
show
good
today?
I got some nice drip.
Okay, you and Dylan both.
I got some drip and some Riz, man.
Riz.
Yeah.
You have Riz?
Yeah. And then I'm looking forward to a good breakfast. I'll be bussing.
See, that's a good one. See, you know your stuff. Nerf is a good one. Nerf's a good one for you. Just say
keep it above board.
That
main character.
It just sounds naughty.
Or be like, I'm OP, dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what's OP?
High key.
That Fort Myers Miracle little pullover.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Can I get one?
You're saying, wait, that's OP
for Christmas?
So no, because they no longer exist.
But you still have them.
I still have like a collection of clothing.
I know. You can just give me a shirt.
One thing I think you Gen Zers have tried to take, but it's really not true.
Fun.
I think once you understand that you did not invent simp, but you found a way to make it your own.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What do you mean? We did. We did invent simp.
No, you did not.
Simp wasn't a thing until we started saying it. You're a simp, bro. Stop being a simp.
Yeah. You know what? You guys,
He's a simp anyway.
You guys, you did not invent it, but it almost feels like you found a way to make it your own. All right?
Isn't
Gen Z doesn't have to take over everything.
Isn't that inventing? Isn't that inventing?
No.
Taking things and adjusting it into a different thing?
No, because you're claiming things. You're like taking land.
You're
like taking
changing the rules.
I prefer Iceland, actually. It's actually a very nice place.
I mean, what this whole thing is, it's like big yikes with you guys and trying to take over Simp.
Are you looking up right now Gen Z slang?
No.
In order to try and communicate with me right now?
My conversation with you is very dank.
Yeah, there it is. By the way, what was just to go back on this? What were you saying before about kids your age?
All right, I'm done with the conversation.
About simp.
Period.
What you say?
Period.
No, just say period, man.
Period.
You don't. You no. You don't.
I like
have
the T.
It's not Creighton. All right. You can.
I like
you
the
can
T.
just say, hey, period.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Wow.
All right. 2 top tangos, top blank Bardowskis, bro.
I'll take 2 of those, please.
You would? Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Sound like Ovechkin.
Couple of tweets.
Wow.
What are you laughing?
No.
Wow.
We'll get to Jesse here in a moment. Kyle, who former athletic director, former football coach at Wisconsin, went after the Madtown fans yesterday for saying fire Fickle.
No, not wrong.
Barry Alvarez is a really good radio guest. He's got his own. I don't think he just appears on the local radio show. I believe that he has a weekly radio show during football season.
Should we try and get him on?
Kyle says, I hate to lump all Nebraska fans together, but I've never heard a dumber group of people in my life. People talking about taking DR15 out of the game like he's not the only reason you were in the game. Dude throws for 300 yards and he should have sat. This fan base is a joke.
Okay, I wouldn't go as far as say they're a joke. But
so let's be fair here because now let's hear from an Iowa fan. How about Iowa? Is it 8.5 point underdog
against IU?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at the book.
I just got that new offense.
I haven't looked at the board. That's how you know how bad it's been.
Iowa has actually a really good straight up record when they are an underdog at home of 7 or more.
Wow. Okay, that is a great niche.
But Iowa JD says if you pull Dillon for any series that is not a blowout, he'll be on a private plane to Athens before the game is over.
Bang.
What about Coral Gables? What about College Station?
All warm places.
They're all viable. Like that's something that we brought up on Big Red Overreaction, and we didn't want to get into it about it. Mm-hmm. But I was just clearly stating that if this is how you treat a 5-star quarterback, why would any other top-rated quarterback ever want to come and play for you?
But it's not the fan base treating him.
No. I'm talking about if Nebraska were to actually go through with like benching him, even though he's playing well because they can't properly protect him.
Well, you're probably benching him because you want to preserve his lifespan.
Sure.
That would be not because of performance.
That's how you word it. Yeah.
You're going to get killed and you probably can't protect yourself as well.
But even if you word it that way, Jimmy, I still think
5 I'm being very sarcastic. You don't tell him.
Okay. But still, if they did try and spin it off as like, hey, we're doing it because we're not ready to protect
all
Dillon
the cool kids get benched.
I would be like, dude, like you had 3 years to build an offensive line around a potential quarterback.
And you can buy them now.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk more about the Dinker and Dunker. But first,
right decision. Jesse has education for us.
There's going to be a conversation as Nebraska moves through the season of, is Dillon, are they going to allow, or is Dillon going to allow himself to take more risks? Like losing a game when you're just dinking and dunking with Dillon, are you ticked off? Or are you, hey, I understand winning and losing. We lost because, you know what? We took chances. We took a risk.
Yes.
The dynamic of having a quarterback like Dillon that I don't know that we still. I mean, what if he doesn't reach an elite level? What if he's not a 5-star college quarterback, but he's a solid 4?
I think that's
good.
Yes. Because that's being a solid 4-star quarterback in college football, at least right now, is being a top 10 quarterback in college football.
I would take a solid winning 4 games in a row from the quarterback, and I don't care if it's Tristan Gebbia, Johnny Stanton.
It's a deep cut.
Riker.
Jeez.
All right. Here's a little education here. Probably more for you than me. Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning. I had to chime in. As an old. I was born all the way back in the 20th century, back in the 1970s.
Ooh, simpler times.
And I'm here to educate the youngins here. A lot of the lingo.
Come take your beating.
A lot of the. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you, Jesse. I'm behind you. Let's go.
A lot of
a lot of the lingo and the slang that you youngins toss around was actually injected into society by the great 20th century poets, the 1980s and 1990s. We called them rappers, mainly Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, even the Fresh Prince. You say things every day that they are the ones who injected into society. But simp first rose to prominence and was injected into pop culture by a man named Sir Mix-a-Lot. In the song Baby Got Back, he said, and I quote, "A lot of simps won't like this song." That's where it comes from.
He was right.
That's who invented it. Get yourself right. Respect your elders.
Hey, Jesse. Wow.
That was good. Jesse,
Yeah,
see,
phone drop.
you got Jesse's a veteran. Like Jesse ain't like Jesse's going to drop the mic and then he's getting the hell out.
Yeah.
Okay, Jesse's going to drop the mic and then he's going to get off.
He's not here for a live discussion.
Yeah.
We
wanna
made
make
it
a
more
point.
popular, though.
How?
Because now it's a part of
Sir
ton of
Mix-a-Lot
lingo.
has not done a remix.
Sir Mix-a-Lot was
Isn't
a big
that a
deal.
little weird? Wouldn't a guy named Mix-a-Lot do some remix-a-lots? If there was ever a time
No, I think.
to press F3.
Hey,
What does that do?
But
Oh,
I'm pretty
I think like a Nebraska offensive
Don't do it.
lineman. You're
press
str-
random numbers.
Hey,
Bad
like a
things.
Nebraska offensive lineman, because I got to stick to sports here. I think you're struggling to get to the second level.
if you're a Nebraska offensive lineman.
Yeah, here in your discussion.
Yeah, that's
about
not a hot
Sir
take.
Mix-a-Lot should be mixing more lot.
He should. Is he still mixing?
Hey,
Is
'Cause
Sir
then-
still mixing?
Baby will always have back.
hey.
What's little
You-
John doing nowadays?
You will always have Sir Mix-a-Lot because them punks like to hit it and quit it.
And
I'd rather stay and play.
Oh my god!
Because I'm long and I'm strong and I'm down to get the friction on.
We got to
So,
stop
ladies.
doing this. You know, I think this might be the first time where you've had a bit that's annoying,
and as opposed to me having a bit.
Hey.
Because I have a lot of bits that are annoying. This one is this one's your first one.
No, this is incredible.
It'd be a little bit better if I didn't see you typing when you were.
I wasn't typing. I'm responding to an email. I'm
He gets emails.
multitasking.
Yeah.
Because you other brothers can't deny that we're going to talk to Dave and SWFLA. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, all right. So take me as a Nebraska fan out of this. This is 100% strictly as a football coach.
Okay.
You're not pulling Dylan. Dylan has played how many
I hate this.
games, Gary?
17.
Okay. Now, the only way you're going to get him to where you want him to be is by live game reps. All the quarterbacks we're comparing him to, except for Underwood, are juniors and seniors. They got game reps. Carson Beck wasn't always Carson Beck. Wasn't he scrutinized last year?
Yeah.
He was ran out of Athens, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, he's going to Miami. He's got more reps under his belt. He's a better quarterback. 17 games for a 19-year-old kid amounts to squat. You start getting into 30, 40 games, Dylan's going to make better decisions. That's just it's called the evolution. It's called growth. You're not going to bench a kid every time something goes wrong. You do that, you're going to crush the kid's psyche. And you're right, he will be on a plane to Athens. Calm down.
Where did this start?
Let him get game reps.
I'm not going to take
Okay.
full blame for
Hey,
it.
the Gen Zer over here is going to take credit for this.
I'm not
and I don't
going
know
to
why.
take credit for this.
I don't know why. Dave, there's no, you know what? You're developing a quarterback. Is he what we want him to be 17 games in? Maybe not. Is he what Nebraska needs? Probably. Is he going to get there? We don't know yet. I mean, I think he's, okay, so let's do this. Let's do this experiment here, Gen Zer, Gen Xers. Last year, after the Illinois loss, we got on the struggle bus, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
After the Michigan loss, you expect him to look like what the next time out?
Even better.
He should go out and do what he does. No expectations. If the kid goes out and throws one pick every other game or whatever he's at, right? He only had one pick through 4 games, and he throws for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns throughout the rest of the year. That's pretty good quarterback play.
Yeah, I think anybody in the country would take it. Dave, thanks for the phone call. we're burying the offensive line and the running back too. No more Dillon. Okay, Dillon's fine. Okay, I've seen this plan before. You don't want to address the offensive line. You don't want to address running back too. So let's just flood it with Dillon talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you know what?
I'm
going to be like
right,
I'm going to be like Moses.
You're going to part the Red Sea.
I'm going to part. Boop. We're going to put it on the side, and we need to talk about running back too and the offensive line.
All right. So timeout.
Okay.
Timeout. Quick timeout here.
Yeah.
I got 2 left.
Are you deep in the jeans she wearing?
No, I wish. So you are correct in the fact that it is a lot more fun and easier to talk about Dillon and this ridiculous argument that would never come to fruition ever. This is not something that they're talking about in the meetings.
We're playing the cover 3 game here.
I know. No. Andrew started it. And I legitimately had to defend his honor. And I had to defend Dillon's honor against 3 people on Big Red overreaction. So I understand where you're coming from, but unfortunately, this is something that people actually believe and people actually are willing to voice their opinion and say. And I have just decided to shut that down. Now, it's just 2 callers. There are other problems for sure that we will talk about. We just had to get this one out of the way. This is done. We're done talking about Dillon.
Offensive linemen, feet, hands, inability to get to second level. That's more of a pressing concern.
That and just hitting a hole. Just hit a hole that's in front of you.
Yeah. Well,
it's incredible. The inability for these guys behind Emmett not to do it.
I understand where you're coming from, so I won't cuss or hit you.
You'll just give me a mean look.
But I got to be straight.
Oh, is Cuss or Hit Ya a song of Sir Mix-a-Lot's? Jeez. See, this is
Mix-a-Lot.
This is the problem though.
Lot.
Am I not saying
songs, not
Sir
cake.
Mix-a-Lot?
There's no lots.
Yeah.
There's big lots, but Sir Mix-a-Lot doesn't shop at big lots. He has his own lot.
Though if he would have had
a song,
chain
or
of
is
car
that-
lots, that would have been actually very.
Is there a Sir Mix-a-Lot Jr.?
No, there is no scandal.
No, he's not stepping down and running for Senate, and Junior's going to take over his albums. That's not what I'm saying.
Wait a minute.
I'm not following.
I'm not following. There were no scandals. Why would there be a scandal if there's Sir Mix-a-Lot Jr.?
There's always a scandal.
That's true. Junior.
Hey, with Sir, he just wants to get him home.
Mhm.
All right, we got to take a break.
Just
We'll
like
come
Sir
back.
Parker.
Scott, stay right there. I kind of like CBS's presentation of Big Ten football. And a little bit later, kind of along the lines, because I think you'd like to dabble in a little politics.
No. God, no.
I know what you're going to be doing at 10:30 tonight.
Do you know-
You're going to be watching KTV, baby.
Do you know that they were
You're
calling...
going to be like, Jimmy!
Do you know...
Jimmy!
Do you know the second biggest nickname on the BROR stream outside of Mick Farter and Mick Flatulence was Mick Lib? Because
That would be a third nickname.
Really?
Is this like
they were
McRib?
calling, they were
Okay.
They were calling Josh
So-
and I libs, and people were like, "He's from Chicago. He's for
Okay.
sure a lib."
So on the heels of that, at some point before we're out of here at 10,
Damn.
I agree with Clay Travis.
Oh boy, me too. I agree with Clay as well.
As a lib, you can't.
Yes, you can.
It's America.
You could be a lib.
Pick a side.
No.
Latif or Raiola.
Can only have one opinion.
I pick Dayton.
Oh,
Can I go with the third party candidate? Can I go with the independent, please?
Hey, I'm not begging for a piece of that bubble. We're back with more Gary and Matt with Jimmy after this in 1620 The Zone.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. And you can play right now in Nebraska. It's easy. Just pick whether your favorite players to go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And if you get your picks right, you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1 this week on Underdog. I'm looking at the Cowboys making a poop down their pants against the Packers. Look at Jordan Love to do things. Hey, they'll have a bet for Micah Parsons on sacks. Take the over. Trust me, he may have 5 in the first quarter. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code ZONE to score $50 in bonus funds. When you play your first $5, that's promo code ZONE. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
24/7's recruiting database is so annoying when trying to search things. Oh, what I was going to say to you was we did a really good job as a sports community of lowering the importance of batting average, right? Just being hey, it's not as important as you think it is. We need to now do that with yards per attempt.
Not ready to go there yet, but I would listen.
Just because average depth of target, I think is a way more the numbers are different, and so.
Well, the only reason because they don't have access to that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's kind of mainstream.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct, and so that's a big barrier as to why, but still, I do think.
You familiar with this song?
Yes. I
Okay.
like big butts.
We know. That's why we get along.
Okay.
And I cannot lie, Matt.
All right.
You shouldn't lie.
That's the name of the song, everybody. By the way, I wasn't being inappropriate or anything.
Oh, that you were lying on the air?
Well, no, I was just quoting the song. I like big butts, and I cannot lie, and all you other brothers can't deny.
But you just said it out of you just said it like natural. You were not in a singing mode. You just said, I like big butts.
And I cannot lie.
No, you never said that. You just said, I like big butts, and you just left it at that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I just wanted some clarification, not whatever. Hey, whatever you like, you like.
Hashtag peach emoji.
Hey,
Okay.
I can have my cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
All right. Well,
morning, Nathan.
Enjoy the Monday Night Football doubleheader next week. Jets at Miami, Cincinnati at Denver.
Yeah, you missed that.
Nope. I did not.
That was a good one.
I did not.
That was a good one.
I did not. Like
That was
Deshaun
an
McCullough,
all-time.
I've
Just
deflected
driving the
that
bus.
away.
Oh, I thought you got too deep in your pass rush. My bad.
Here is Scott. Good morning, Scott. Scott is not there. Scott had a question about Latif.
Yeah, call
Please,
back. He actually had a really good
please call back.
topic. We just keep playing.
It used to be my go-to I would do rare karaoke.
I like big butts was?
Yeah. It was an easy karaoke song.
You know what's a really easy
I get that.
karaoke song? My Way by Frank Sinatra.
It's a good,
Not
solid.
My Way by Limp Bizkit.
Oh, that's right. You are a karaoke person.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
But
I just haven't been.
What changed? Like a week?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been in.
I actually was
Yeah.
thinking about you in karaoke the other day because I was trying to remember somebody I know is big on karaoke. Oh, Matt, I work with him.
I haven't been in after 2 straight years of going every single Wednesday. I haven't gone 2 months, but I've lost it. I'm out of my prime.
Already?
I sang Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, and people started like talking crap at me because it was bad. And I think that's kind of
okay.
You got to leave the game
You
before
retired.
you got to leave the game before the game leaves
Yeah.
you. And the game's left me.
See, I think I was at Moe and Curly's over on West Maple,
Mhm.
and they were having a competition, and it was like an elimination. I would go Sir Mix-a-Lot, and then I'd go William Hung. Those are my two solid ones.
After my wrestling appearance,
Yeah.
after I turned heel on Johnny Cadillac, and
You
joined
guys as a
Doomsday,
gang went and did karaoke?
we did. Doomsday went out and did some karaoke, and one of the guys is a professional singer. Like he's professionally trained, and he put on one of the greatest performances. He sang "Pure Imagination" from Willy Wonka.
Ooh,
and it
All right.
was he brought the house down.
That's
like
no Folsom
everybody
Prison, but
was
okay.
standing up, clapping for him after.
All right. Scott is back. Scott, that was probably on our end. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. The caller before you went to break had a great point about Dylan, and he's your guy and he's your guy. But dealing in absolutes is very dangerous. So why did you recruit TJ Latif if you weren't going to give him a shot? And it's all right. Personal experience, you always learn more from adversity than you do from coddling. So I think it'd be great for Dylan to know that there's somebody behind him and he's got to perform.
Well,
and that's all I got, gentlemen.
Scott, thanks. Dylan respects the guy behind him more than the guy he did last year, and Danny Kaelin, who threw his first collegiate touchdown for Virginia over the weekend. I don't think Dylan ever thought that Danny Kaelin was a threat. And they paid Danny Kaelin to stay.
Yeah.
He was going to be a clipboard holder.
Mhm.
Okay. I mean,
That's a fact.
Hey, in case of emergency.
Yeah.
I don't think Dylan thinks that Latif is going to come in and take his job, but I think Dylan respects Latif's game more. But still, Dylan is the quarterback one. Dylan is the guy that makes the world go round. Now, if Dylan struggles and Dylan doesn't make the world go round, they have an intriguing option.
They do.
But until Dylan doesn't do Dylan things and Dylan does, looks like his dad playing quarterback, then this isn't a conversation. Now, the one thing I have, because they're going to have to pay to stay.
Yes.
I think the communication with Latif and knowing he stayed in the class, knowing they already had Dylan, and they have a plan for him. And, he gave us glimpses against Akron and Houston Christian. We'd love to see him more. I'd love to see him be able to play more than the 5 games. And we don't know now because it got brought up yesterday, the 5 for 5. But until Dillon proves that he's not the number one quarterback, Dillon's the number one quarterback, and Latif is a solid backup that I think in the end of September compared to the end of August, you feel better if by chance Dillon got hurt and Latif had to come in and play, that you're not going to completely just wreck the offense and it's all of a sudden, you're one hand tied behind the back.
So I said yesterday, and we kind of got into this conversation where it's like everything that you thought would be negative from the offseason heading into the season, none of that has changed. It still is all pretty negative. I misspoke because bringing that up, that was one thing that we always kind of brought up where, if Dillon gets hurt, you're absolutely screwed. Like the season's over. Like, you could 5 games, 6 game, like 6 win season. Now that what we've seen from Latif, that is the one kind of negative where I think it's turned into a positive where it's like, okay, I can spin this in a way where if Dillon does get hurt, well, TJ's going to be the quarterback eventually, and this would be really good reps for him in the Big Ten, and like he can grow and we can look toward the future or whatever. So that is correct. At the same time, the key phrase is if Dillon doesn't perform. Dillon performs. Mm-hmm. Dillon's performed. Yeah. So as
you have an extremely solid number 1.
Yes.
And you have a viable number 2. And when was the last time we've been able to say that about Nebraska's quarterback room?
It's been a while.
All right. Thank you, Tom Fernelli, Chip Patterson. We didn't even bring up Mahomes. All right. Sam McKewon's going to stop by next. We'll talk about what happened on Saturday, some of the things that Rule said yesterday, and maybe we'll find a positive development through 4 weeks of the season that we were not anticipating with this football team that could bode well for the next 4 in the month of October and then November.
And then maybe December.
Well, I hope you're playing in December.
Yeah. I think they will be playing in December.
I am going to say, I'm on a roll here with the prediction board. Nebraska will play football in December.
Okay. Yep. Put it up there.
Yep.
I'm on the roll in the prediction board. Indiana will make the CFP in 2025.
You are trending in the right direction.
Yesterday was going to be my ultimate victory lap.
Yeah.
I was right at so many things.
Then we slept in.
Yeah, of all days.
Yeah. Well, Signetti is 15-2 overall, and 14 of those 15 wins are by double figures. Sam McKewon is coming up next. All right, let's welcome in our good friend from the Omaha World Herald, Sam McKewon. Good morning, Sam.
How are you guys?
Good. As you know, it's a loss with a bye week, so you know what that brings. So we're sitting here on Tuesday. You did everything on Saturday, wrote your rewind on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Rule spoke yesterday. Again, we're Tuesday. What's the vibe, in your opinion, like a couple of days after that kind of a loss to Michigan?
I think the vibe for the fan base is kind of muted. They've been here before. This is not new. I think there's a sort of wait and see quality to the moment. Some sense of disappointment. Everybody showed out in terms of the crowd, and everybody was really fired up for that game, and great noise and great support. And Nebraska they pulled out a whole bunch of stops. I mean, they brought the '95 team. They brought Bud Crawford. I think there was a sense that this was going to be the day when it was kind of a coronation. I don't know what the right word is, but that Nebraska was going to go win the game, and everybody was going to say, "See, year 3."
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the same things happened. And one of the challenges that they have to work through now, and it is a challenge for sure, is this notion that they played a game and they only lost by 3, but you go back and watch the game, and the team that looked like the team that you would want to be was the other team. And so,
great point.
Nebraska has fully morphed into a pro-style passing offense that's built on the quarterback. And so as he goes, so does this team. And it's a team that probably defends the pass as well or better than any team in the Big Ten, but does not defend the run very well. And so I think one of the things that Nebraska fans and the people covering the program are going to have to kind of square themselves with is we knew a lot of this stuff before the season, but I think a lot of times people can feel like, well, it's going to be as good as it possibly could be until they lose, and then they lose for the reasons that we thought they might lose for. So, I think there's a kind of course correction there, and people are settling in to the reality of what this team might be. The good news is the schedule's not very hard, and so Nebraska has a lot of games in front of it that it can win and tout progress. But if you're one of these people that says, "Hey, I want to see Nebraska win a Big Ten championship and go to the college football playoff," I don't know that Saturday was terribly encouraging.
When we talk about Michigan, we talk about, they're so physical and they're so strong and they beat teams down. And Gary, about last week, brought up a great point that it would be nice if Nebraska were like that. If Nebraska, we could describe Nebraska in that manner. When was the last time you think Nebraska had that mantra or had that description, and what do you think has held them back from being able to just out physical teams like a Michigan does?
I think they've had it from time to time in the Big Ten, but I think since joining the Big Ten, I don't know that Nebraska's ever been the most physical team in the Big Ten, if that makes sense. So that's never been true. I think you could go back to the Big 12 era and say, well, Nebraska lost to Texas that time, and they lost to Texas again, and then they got screwed at A&M, but nobody would question whether Nebraska was the more physical program in any of those games, to be perfectly frank. I don't know that that's necessarily been true since Nebraska moved to the Big Ten. There were moments in 2012 where I think they got there. There might have been some moments in 2016, although the team didn't have as many good players. There were moments in the Scott Frost era where you're like, well, I can see it. It's coming. I can see it. But it never has quite turned the corner, and I think that's something that there were moments, I'll tell you, early in the Rule tenure, the team didn't have any receivers, and it didn't have good quarterback play, but you knew they'd come and hit you, and you knew that they would play tough, and I thought that that's kind of what Rule was building, the body blows thing, and hey, we're going to come out, we're going to thump you, and you're going to know we're here at the very least. And I'm not saying that that's still not true. I am saying that when you bring in a 5-star quarterback and you put a lot of the team on him, which, Dylan's doing a good job of throwing the football around the yard, you take on a little bit of who he is, and so I think the team right now is built around the pass. They have a coordinator who knows how to scheme up a pass game. They have a quarterback who likes to throw the football. They're built to run the pass, and that's what they're at. That's who they are, and it's kind of an NFL style. It's not necessarily a bad thing. You're just going to have to get better at protecting him, and then you got to get better at stopping the run, and that could be a year-long task.
The offensive line. So there's sometimes some bad feet, some hands, inability to figure out where guys are coming from, getting to the second level. But the interior offensive line, I think is going to be okay. And they didn't crater on Saturday. It's all about the guys on the outside. Sam, is that a Nebraska's tackles against Michigan, or is that a Nebraska tackle issue?
I think it's a little bit of both. They're going to face teams this year that don't have what Michigan has on the edge, starting with Michigan State. Michigan State's not going to present the same physical challenge that Michigan did. And that's possible Michigan State could scheme some stuff up, but I don't think Michigan State's walking in here evoking the same kind of, fear or whatever word, wariness that Michigan did. So, there's going to be games where those tackles hold up really well. And we're going to get into the week-by-week thing where it's going to be, well, this week Nebraska played really well. And the doubters were wrong. And then the next week it's, well, Nebraska didn't play so well in this one, and the doubters might be right. It depends on what you think the overall trajectory of the program needs to be. That's where, for some fans, I don't care if they go to the Big Ten championship. I just want to see them win 8 games and play in a more relevant bowl than last year. I want them to play in a warm weather setting, so we're not watching the winter on my TV screen. Some people say, no, I want them to play for the Big Ten championship, and I want them to go to the college football playoff. And then some people are like, I just want them to send more players to the NFL, because 5 years from now, if they can get Dylan to the NFL, they're going to be this much better. And I totally understand everything Rule's doing with recruiting, and I'm looking at 2027, all that stuff. And so, the first 2 groups are probably pretty happy with where things are at right now. And the second group is probably not, because again, if you want to make the playoff, you have to win games like Saturday, and so it matters what the goal is around here. I can tell you that for the majority of the people who cover the program, goal number 2 isn't really where it's at. It's, hey, let's go 8-4. Matt Rule can give us some more good quips. We can write about the culture around the program, and 8-4 is fine, and we'll go to a bowl game, and we'll come back next year. From my perspective, I think a lot of readers want to know when Nebraska is going to get back to where they used to be. And so I write to some degree with that in mind. Sure. And I'm just saying that, they're not there yet. They're not. Saturday, if Saturday they win by 10 if they're where they need to be, and they're just not there yet. They're caught a little short on the defensive line for reasons that Rule sort of explained yesterday. They didn't go out and get a second running back, and that whatever. So we'll see how it all unfolds. It's a team that develops Ja'Cory Barney really well, and Ja'Cory Barney is probably the best player in the program. But it's also a team that hasn't quite figured out how to use Carter Nelson yet, and they're both equally good athletes. They've figured out how to use Ja'Cory Barney. They haven't figured out how to use Carter Nelson. And yes, I know that Carter Nelson's been hurt, but he wasn't hurt most of last season, and he's played in every game this season. But that's a way of looking at it. This is a team that hasn't quite figured out how to use the number 2 tight end, but they've figured out how to use the number 2 receiver.
So they haven't beaten Michigan State since 2018 in that 9-6 victory at Memorial Stadium. And so they're going to have a bye week coming off of a really disappointing loss, a loss where they were very confident in their ability to win that game heading into it. And then they're going to play a team that also, Michigan State, also coming off of a bye. How much about the character of this team would a win tell you?
Not much.
Oh, okay. You think it's just,
candidly?
Yeah.
They should win the game.
Stuff?
No, I don't think their moral quotient goes up if they beat Michigan State. I don't. I think they should win. Michigan State's defense is poor, and gave up untold passing yards to Boston College and USC. I'm just trying to answer the question as you're asking.
No, you're
like,
it's totally fine.
If they had lost by 52 to Michigan, then it would mean something. What happened in 2023 where they lost 45-7. Then they go on the road and they beat a decent, not a great, but a decent Illinois team 20-7. That was character. This is more in a short week. This is more. You got a team coming into town that, quite frankly, you ought to beat. They're going to be about an 8 to 9 point favorite. They match up well with Michigan State. Michigan State's got some players on offense. I like Michigan State's offense a lot, schematically, stylistically. What Michigan State can do, what Johnson Smith can do, I have a lot of respect for. So Nebraska's got to be on its P's and Q's defensively, because Michigan State will come in here and move the football. But ultimately, I think Nebraska can win the game, 35-20-24. And again, everybody will walk into the postgame and go, yeah, and they'll certainly talk about how much moral fiber that took. But if you're just asking me straight up, I think my expectations and my opinion of this team is higher than that. I'm not trying to knock at all the experience of the players or the coaches. And so sometimes, because so many of our conversations go back to this culture piece, what I'm saying could be taken the wrong way and be like, well, are you saying? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that the reality is this team has a good culture and they have good character. I don't think it's going to take extra character or extra culture to do what they need to do against Michigan State. I think they're going to win the game, and then we'll talk the following week. Now, if they go and beat Michigan State, then they go to Maryland, then they go and win a road game at Minnesota on a short week, and they do all that in the span of 20 days, then we'll talk character, because that's not going to be easy to do. And in fact, Nebraska has not done it in a long time, won back-to-back road games in back-to-back weeks, or one at Minnesota. So, there are moments where this is going to be a test of their fortitude and those things. I would say it's that 3-week stretch, not just that one game.
Is there an in-season solution to taking snaps off of Emmett's plate?
There is, yeah. They just have to make a decision and put a guy out there. That's the yes. Yes.
Which one?
They got to do it. I think probably Nelson, but I would think that there's an opportunity to get Quentin Ives in the game and give him an opportunity to do things, especially in short yardage. But I think Mekhi Nelson is that guy. Isaiah Mosey is kind of moving between positions, and I think they're trying to get him the ball in certain circumstances. But it's important to remember that, almost all of training camp, Dylan's working with Isaiah Mosey as a running back, and then Janiyah Bonner gets hurt. And so now Mosey's moved back to that other position, but Dylan created all this chemistry with Hunter, Key, and Barney. Those are the three, and then Lindemeyer, and chemistry is more than just, well, I trust you to catch the ball. It's, I kind of know your tendencies, and I know where you're going to be, and I kind of know where you like the ball. I know I can throw the ball here with Luke, and he's going to grab it. I know that I can throw the ball here with Dane Key, and I know what he's going to do with it. I know where Ja'Cory Barney likes to hand off, all those kind of things. And so you have to develop that chemistry with Mosey before he's used. I think Mekhi Nelson, I think he's got to take a step forward, and I think Rule, to his credit, said he's challenging his coaches to make that decision. And I don't know that that's entirely on Barthel. I think that's also on Holgorsen too. They've got to be able to be on the same page about, okay, let's go. Let's figure out a way to get him in the game, and what packages do we trust him in? Can we just use him as a running back and not have to be in the 21 personnel and things like that? So, I think they've got to just put him in the football game, and Barthel too. They just got to put him in, and they've got to give him a chance, because otherwise Emmett Johnson's going to he's going to be really banged up halfway through the season.
Yeah, he was 69.6% of the carries. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was hit, man, against Michigan, including in pass blocking. He got hammered a couple of times. So you have to find a way to take a little bit of tread off his tire, or keep the tread on his tire.
Sure.
And so yeah, they just got to make a decision. Sometimes, as they say in the Tom Cruise movie, right? The driving movie, you just got to pick a lane, drive through it. and that's what they're going to have to do. Days of Thunder. Pick a lane, drive
Nicely
through
done.
it, and
very
that's
good.
Done.
Very good.
That's what they got to do. They just got to pick one.
Sam, I think you did a phenomenal job yesterday in the presser asking about the running backs and your follow-ups. I want to give you kudos on that because I know that talking about money and talking about off-season acquisitions can be a tough spot to ask about, and definitely in the middle of the season. But when you ask your question and then he responded to it, and in particularly your follow-up, I was thinking about, you look at the last 3 years since Matt Rule has been here. They went out, they got Marcus Washington and Billy Kemp. Then they got Isaiah Nair and Jamal Banks. Then they got Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter. Those are 3 straight years of allocating assets to making sure you're acquiring 2 wide receivers. Do you think it's safe to say in the future that they should take one of those wide receiver spots that they invest in and move it toward a running back, or move that, whatever percentage of that might go toward getting another tackle, or whether it be on the defensive or offensive end?
I think it's a good question. I think the answer to this most recent season was yes. Mm-hmm. And remember, they signed 3. One of them was thrown off the team or whatever. So I think that's a conversation that's more about going back to the running back coach and saying, listen, man, like, I'm sorry that we had to move Mosey back to this position once Bonner got hurt. And it's also like, hey, we need you to get your guys ready. You said they're going to be ready, so let's roll. And so I think it's a little bit of that. I think they moved Mosey in part because that was what they were going to kind of do. Mm-hmm. And Marty Brown was, I don't know, too pricey. Obviously, he didn't use Marty Brown's name, but that's the person that we're all thinking about. And I don't know, like, it's interesting that he said, you know, we got $40 million rosters and we didn't have as much as everybody before, but now we do. And I think I understand what he's talking about there but everybody is not everybody. I mean, everybody is Ohio State and Oregon and Miami and, you know, some other teams. He's not talking about literally everybody. So, you know, and then he said something about there might be something about 10 teams that might have more money or something, but you know, there's not a bunch of teams. I can't remember the exact quote off the bat.
It was 10. He brought up the number 10. That was dropped.
Yeah. And, you know, I think everybody kind of knows what those 10 teams are. They're not all better than Nebraska. I think Texas Tech is one of those 10 teams. Now, Texas Tech does seem to be better than Nebraska, but, you know, so I think he's kind of working through that, and he's probably frustrated a little bit by the circumstances with Bonner getting hurt and moving Mosey, and then Quentin Ives got hurt. I don't think that was on their plans, obviously. If he hadn't gotten hurt, maybe he'd be better where he needs to be. And so, you know, I think the dominoes kind of fit here to be a little bit tricky. But at the same time, now you just got to go. You got a bye week, pick a guy, go. And in the future, you've got to assess, because here's what I think it kind of came down to. It kind of came down to, okay, well, you got 2 backs. They probably both want money. I don't know how much money they want, but you don't necessarily allocate them that funds for your backs. And I think, you know, Emmett went into the portal, then Emmett came back, then Dante went into the portal. And I think you can kind of figure out the play there, that Dante was like, well, you know, I thought I was going to be the feature guy. Now I'm not. And now it's going to be split time again. And I'm sure Dante could tell that Emmett Johnson was playing a whole hell of a lot under Dana Holgorsen those couple of games. And so I think he went out and got more money from Kentucky, and he went there. And I think he's banged up now, but he was splitting time with Kentucky. So, you know, like it's a tricky situation. I think they have to figure out ways to navigate it. What you want to do is develop your backs recruit them as freshmen and develop them. And right now, Jamarian Parker's hurt. Connor Booth doesn't appear to be ready, and that's okay. He's a freshman. Mosey had to move positions, and Nelson should be the number 2, or Nelson arrives, in my opinion. Yeah. So, you know, that Quentin Ives needs to step up. This is his time. He has an opportunity. And then Mekhi Nelson, this is his opportunity. E.J. Barthel took a chance on both of those guys. These were guys that were probably going to UConn if they're not coming to Nebraska. That doesn't mean I don't think they're good players, because there's been lots of good backs at all over the country. But this is their moment. Nelson and Ives have 2 weeks here to really figure it out and make the step up so that they can be the number 2 back, and that they don't, Matt, have to go out and get a portal guy next year.
Yeah.
That's the key. If Nelson comes along, then maybe you don't have to.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't come along, then maybe they do. And I think you ask a great question. Do you allocate each offseason an opportunity to go get a back? In the Big Ten, is that more important than going and get a third receiver?
Yep. Great stuff, Sam. We appreciate it. Have a hopefully a quiet bye week.
Hopefully, I think it will be lots of football on Saturday.
Yes, thank you. Great day on Saturday. First of all, Ryder Cup starts at 7 a.m. and you go till nighttime. So don't do anything on Saturday. There you go. That's my little advice.
I'm sorry, because I'm a, you know me, Majors fan, not golf fan. Ryder Cup starts on Saturday?
Friday.
Oh, okay.
But on Saturday, it starts at 7 a.m. and then there's a whole day of football.
Hell yeah. God,
no.
I love sports.
That's good to know.
Hot take.
All right, when we come back, we'll do run through the tape. Plus, you guys want some Omaha hockey news?
I do. I'm actually very excited. I'm going to become an Omaha hockey honk this
I
year,
will
so.
share some Omaha hockey news. It's kind of significant when we come back on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome to Fat Bear Week. You guys watch Fat Bear Week?
What do you?
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Anthony
What is
Adams. It's Anthony Adams week.
Whoa.
Spice actually has lost a lot of weight. Very happy for Spice.
I guess you will not be at the Wiener Circle today to get your free hot dogs for Caleb throwing 4 touchdown passes.
No, and I'm so mad about it.
Come on.
I haven't been. That's one of the few spots I haven't been to.
You need that wiener.
Either.
That's Fat Bear Week before the Bears go into hibernation. Pick your favorite bear.
Do you ever watch the Bear documentary on Disney Plus?
Like on the 85 Bears?
No, not on Buddy Ryan. On actual live bears.
I've not seen it, but I've seen plenty of bear movies, bear documentaries.
Bears on cocaine.
Bear down.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've seen plenty of bear documentaries.
Arizona, Iowa State, sneaky game. Saturday night names.
Yeah. You should watch it. It's incredible. It's heart pounding. Okay. It's riveting. It's
Bears?
about I'm talking. It's about this female bear who comes out of hibernation, who has to protect her 2 children.
Does she eat any other animals?
Other animals?
Hell yes, I'm in.
It is tense.
All right.
I almost shed a tear during it. It was actually a beautiful. You should watch it.
I don't believe you have a soul, so I don't believe you
That
shared
is
a tear.
Not true.
You have no emotion.
You know I'm a crier.
I did not know you were a crier,
dude. We talked about Iron Claw. Remember that? Bawling. That was the last movie I cried.
I think you should have cried because that movie could have been better. That's why you should have cried.
What do you mean it could have been better?
Could have been better.
What do you mean it
could have been better?
You were totally wrong. It's a great movie.
Our definition of a great movie is different.
That is an emotional masterpiece.
Little Giants. How did the Cowboys blow a 21
the use of music in it and the
I'm not saying that it was not
theme of brotherhood,
but it could have been better. I liked it. Look, could have been better.
Kerry Von Erich being played by a 5'7" dude was very weird. Okay, considering he was 6'3" and an absolute monster. But outside of that, great movie.
All right, so right around the corner is the start of hockey season. I believe that Omaha is 10 days away. I was at Baxter yesterday for men's basketball practice, and it was cold in there. They had new signage. I saw our 1620 The Zone sign on the dasher board.
Oh no,
looks really, really good. They've redone all the signs. Looks really, really good. But
the Zone Center.
So the NCHC, which is if you're not familiar with college hockey, is the equivalent of the SEC when it comes to college hockey.
Just means more.
Defending national champion in Western Michigan. They begin the year number 1. DU is 4th. North Dakota is 11th.
Damn.
Arizona State is 14th. And then St. Thomas, which is coming to the NCHC in a couple of years, or actually next year, they're number 19. Omaha got receiving votes. Omaha is very much a mystery team. They got a bunch of new players, and they have the returning goalie of the year, who is not the preseason goalie of the year. That goes to Western Michigan, but that's for another story. I'm with you, Simon. But Omaha's predicted 7th in the NCHC.
Okay.
Which I think they'll be better than 7th.
They're usually better.
But the league's going to be a little bit deeper. It's a challenge, but no one knows anything about Omaha because I got so many new faces.
Sure.
So early on in the year, they're not getting a lot of love. But yeah, it was a fresh rebrand for the NCHC. Did you see their big announcement?
No, I did not.
So they are changing the name of their conference.
Whoa.
Omaha Hockey now plays in the National. Looks really good.
It's just called the National.
So the Summit League. The Summit League would like to have football, and then they wonder, should we have hockey? Because some of our members, like North Dakota and Omaha, Denver, are playing in now the National, and our commissioner was in charge of the NCHC, which is now the National. But it's a great hockey conference, which, you spend a lot of money. You got to be successful. You figure in that league, if you're even in 5th, you have a chance at with pairwise to get in the NCAA tournament. Wow. But big announcement for Omaha.
I love the logo. The logo's pretty dope.
Yeah, it's a nice little fresh rebrand.
Yeah,
I like the National.
See, I don't. I
National.
No, I need like a second word behind. How about the National 10?
Because it's going to be 11 here soon.
Oh, okay. So the National 11.
National.
It's a very hockey thing because they call I play in the coast and I play in the W and I play in the O and I play in the.
Nobody calls it the coast. They play in the E.
They call it the coast.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, I was in that league. They don't call it the coast. They call it the E.
Okay, I'll pull off then.
Yeah,
I've heard Witt call it coast.
No, guys that play in the league, they play in the E or they get called up to the A. Yeah. They don't say
Hockey's so stupid.
because
I play in the O.
Because people are smart. The East Coast Hockey League, the ECHL, which I've been in, is not on the East Coast.
Did I really try telling you they call it the coast? That's
Yes.
funny. I mean, I call it the coast. I do call it that. And you knew I was talking.
Yeah.
You
Gen
knew
Z
what
thing.
I was referring to.
I never saw you in Trenton when the Titans and the Nailers were playing.
I couldn't lace one of those guys who play on those teams' skates. Hey, better than the Null, though.
The North American Hockey League?
That's the Null. I don't know. Too much for me.
I don't think people call it the Null.
Yes, people definitely do call it the Null.
Okay, I never got the opportunity to be in the Null. I was in the USHL.
See, they just call that.
That's
the
They just call it the USHL.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, you were trying to go, hey, they just call it the...
No,
It's
I'm
the us.
I'm not making things up. I
We're
was in
inclusive.
this world. I had teammates who played in the Null. Granted, not on good teams in the Null.
They still
Well, the
play.
Null is a step down from the USHL, so that's okay.
1,000,000%.
Yeah. But Omaha Hockey is going international.
Well, half their team's from Canada, so I hope so.
That's true.
Where are they going? They going to Ireland? They're playing in the Aer Lingus Hockey Classic?
Manitoba?
So in 2028, Omaha Hockey will be playing in Northern Ireland, not Northern Iowa. They'll be going to Northern Ireland.
Seriously?
So there's going to be there's a thing called the Friendship Series. In 2028, Omaha Hockey will be playing in Northern Ireland with Notre Dame, Dartmouth, and Maine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Notre Dame
in Northern Ireland is interesting.
Well, I mean, look at the Vikings and the Steelers play in Dublin this weekend.
And really, they should play in.
But I'm saying that like Notre Dame,
Yeah.
Irish.
It's their
Catholic,
second home.
right?
Remember they went there and played football a couple years ago?
Northern Ireland a little different.
So 2028, Omaha Hockey is going to play in Northern Ireland in the Friendship Series.
You were just talking about Irish history.
I bet they got a dope hockey rink out there. And
I
bet they
believe
got a
that
beautiful little
I believe
barn.
Belfast has a really good hockey organization.
I bet they got a great barn. It would make a ton of sense.
Did you say
Definitely
bar?
a dome though? Barn.
Oh,
Barn. That's what you call. That's the slang.
I got you.
We call the USHL the U.
Real.
You know, we call the ECHL the coast. We call nice rinks. We call it a nice barn. Tell you, you've called it barn before.
No.
I've
the
heard
barn,
you drop.
but I'm still here.
It's a nice
like,
barn.
We play in the coast. We play in the coast.
Yeah.
They play in the
You knew what I was referring to. It's the Eastern Coast Hockey.
It's the East Coast Hockey
East
League.
Coast Hockey.
Yes, that has not everybody's on the East Coast,
Yes.
so
that
that's
is
why
true.
they call it the E. Yes.
But you knew what I was. Okay.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I didn't. Hockey Nowhere Corey. St. Thomas will be 10.
Oh.
The conference is already tough. They had Arizona State. Now they're gonna add St. Thomas.
Don't you like that? The National 10?
I'm not gonna call it the National 10, but I do like the National. Because they're trying to differentiate themselves from the WCHA,
Yes.
or the CCHA,
Yes.
or everything, you know.
Every other league that has
Well,
an H.
because
and
you
an-
have the Big Ten and the National. The
No,
Big Ten
no, I think it's-
and the toughest hockey conference, the National, with the defending national champions.
I do think it's
on a run
actually
with DU in Western Michigan. Western Michigan, preseason 1.
I do think shout out what was his name? Who played on the
Sidney Crosby,
No, Johnny Oduya.
Ovechkin.
Didn't Johnny
Somebody's last year at the age of 40.
Ovi?
Johnny who?
Oduya. Pretty sure Oduya played for Western. Or no, was it Michael Roosevelt? I don't know.
Andy Murray used to coach there. Remember him? He was coaching the
Tennis player?
NHL with the LA Kings.
Tennis player?
Yeah, exactly. He dabbled in both sports.
He used
All
to
right.
coach against Pete
Let's get back
Sampras.
into something you know. Time to run through the tape.
Jimmy!
I was going to ask you, are we doing it here?
Jimmy, go!
We
Jimmy,
gotta
do
find
it.
your intro. Where did you stick the intro?
It's in my folder. How is it not on the board, Jimmy?
I can't read your mind.
Matt McMaster, and then it's run through the tape. and it's run through the tape.
Are you going to do your own open?
It's
You
the
should
folder.
do your own open.
It's the folder and then it's run through the tape.
So
next
while
down
you're
to one.
searching for that, can I make a comment about rewatching the game?
Yeah.
Oh, here you go.
I think when CBS gets a new crew together, because Danielson is retiring, and isn't Charles Davis joining Nestle?
Yes. Yeah. That was at the beginning of the year, I believe.
The look and production of the CBS broadcast, and it was the same way in the SEC, but it almost like hits closer to home with the Big Ten. The 2:30 slot that the SEC loved, watch out. 2:30 CBS is coming. They're coming.
Is it? Do you
when
think
they had Charles Davis? Because I'm pretty sure Charles Davis is going from the NFL to the Big Ten next year to join Nessler.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we love Charles. He used to be a regular in the afternoons, and then he started doing the NFL, and he got really, really busy. That CBS 2:30. Watch out, Fox.
So officially,
11 a.m.
Charles Davis will replace Danielson as lead analyst.
That's CBS, the look, and then you add Charles Davis next year.
We're gonna
want to play in that slot.
Play.
You watch the game on Saturday. You rewatch the game on Sunday. Now sit back with Gary and Matt as they run through the tape.
I want better etiquette, but more than that, I want better execution. Are we clear on that? I want better execution.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
In life, when things get down and don't look great, keep your mind straight and run through the tape.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Best part.
That's the best intro on the station, by the way. I'll put it up with anybody. Alrighty, negative week. Nebraska lost, so all these plays are bad. Play number 1. Here we go.
Wow. Hey, everybody, stay tuned.
Little trips left. Got a tight end on the right side here. And so look.
Let me stop you real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
To see what Matt is talking about, go to 1620 The Zone TV.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's
Shout
a
out
picture
streamers.
on there, and I'll describe it. So essentially, Michigan, they look at a pretty base look, 4 down linemen, right? You got a guy coming off of the left edge, 2 high safety, pretty standard stuff. And we're not really going to focus on the defense here on this play. We're going to focus on Dylan Raiola's eyes because that is probably the biggest problem of this. This is the interception, by the way. If you look here, his eyes, this is right after the snap, right? I just changed the picture, right? He already, by the way, the depth of the pocket is terrible because he's not getting great protection by the offensive tackle. But he's got 5 guys running around, and immediately he locks his eyes on Luke Lindenmeyer. I mean, this is right after the snap gets to his hands, and he never takes his eyes off Lindenmeyer. And if you look on the bottom here on these 2 Michigan defenders, they are locked in on Dylan. They are looking right at him. Dylan's eyes on Lindenmeyer, their eyes on Dylan. He's got to recognize that he's staring the tight end right down here and that the other 2 corners are looking right at him. This ended up being an interception very easily just because look left to begin or maybe look down the seam or maybe just look off and recognize, hey, the corner here that's on key at the 40-yard line, he's being incredibly aggressive down on key. Maybe look off here, maybe try and find him deep. It's just I like Dylan being quick, and I think that's one of his best aspects. But this is one where you just can't give them this big of a tell, and especially with this talented secondary. Okay, play number 2. I think we all knew kind of what happened here. You got Marshall 23 standing in the backfield. This ended up being a 50-plus yard rushing touchdown. Now, what we're going to focus on here is we talked about this yesterday, that them not being good in the run game wasn't necessarily just one position group. It wasn't just because of the linebackers, wasn't just because of the safeties, wasn't just because of the D-line. It was because of everything. Look at this. Every single person is blocked by Nebraska. I mean, off the snap, 3 yards into it, Marshall already has a guard blocking a defensive tackle. His center has moved up to the secondary level, right behind this 51 blocking, who I think might be right there. There's a wide receiver that's going to go and attack the safety. So even when Marshall bursts through this hole toward the right side, everybody's blocked. Like, that cannot happen. You cannot have a snap where everybody gets beat off their block, that nobody can disengage, that nobody can get a finger on this guy. So this isn't just they didn't put enough in the D line. They can't tackle on defense or in the secondary. This is a systematic run problem. And the reason I'm showing you this play is because I think it demonstrates it better, honestly, than anything. Okay, here's so that was that play. Oh, well, wait. Well, we got to go to, where is she? Here she is. Okay. So, 3rd and 9. 9:22 left to play. Get a stop here. Big deal, right? You end up getting the ball back with 9 minutes left to play. You might get it in some decent field position, right? And you'll have an opportunity to tie a game. You have to get a stop. You have to get a stop on this play. And what happens here is John Butler gets outcoached and outplay called because Nebraska, and if you see here, that's Shavers right in the middle, they're going to send this blitz. They're going to come all the way down. They're showing pressure. They're giving pressure. And then what happens? They slip out a nice little running back screen. Chip Michigan's offensive coordinator. I forget his name. I'm sorry.
Wink Martindale?
No, that's
Chip Lindsey.
Chip Lindsey. That's what I thought. Chip Lindsey knew that they were probably going to be sending pressure. They've been picking up pressure all day. They knew it was probably going to come on 3rd and 9. He guesses correctly. Nebraska sends the house. Underwood backpedals perfectly, slips it out. But even still, even though that they got out called here, Nebraska still has an opportunity to tackle with McCullough coming down, bearing down on the running back, and he still ends up missing the tackle. And so I think that it's just one of those things where even when Nebraska got out coached and got out play called, they still had an opportunity to make a play. They still had an opportunity to get the ball back. 9 minutes left, all 3 timeouts, 4th quarter, and they just couldn't execute. And I think the crux of these 3 plays, the reasons why I picked these 3 and these 3 negative plays in particularly is because they show that it's not just one specific problem. There's some performance issues. There's some, hey, just you got outplay called issues. There's some just don't stare down your wide receiver issues. It's all encompassing, but it's all fixable. It's all you can mend these things. You can get better. But that's it. That's run through the tape. There you go.
All right, good stuff. We'll do that every week. And if you missed it, it'll be up on the replay page. All right. Brian Christopherson's going to join us within the hour. Also, I'll tell you why I agree with Clay Travis. Former guest on the mornings.
Clay Travis?
Yeah. Used to come on regularly.
Somebody who didn't go to Nebraska texted me about Clay Travis and his take and asked me if they thought it was a good take or not.
He had a great take, and I agree with him. We'll do that in the last hour on 1620 The Zone. How many fan bases out there do you think that hate Curt Cignetti, but they would kill to have him as their head coach?
I could probably tell you, it's probably easier to tell you how many hate him and don't want him as opposed to hate him and want him. I probably think there's only like maybe 10.
This is what I want. I want next year when they do the Big Ten Media Days back in Indianapolis, for the same day to have Bielema and Cignetti on. So I'm, he's 15-2, and 14 of those 15 wins are by double figures. And they go to Iowa City this weekend. He said it's going to be more of a challenge. Was he lying? Because there will be an eventual part that he will get his. Now, if he doesn't, then you're cooking with some peanut oil, and Katie Bar the door, the pompous man who's on a heater, is going to be in your face, and they're no longer a Cinderella. But I watched all of Cignetti's press conference yesterday. I actually watched it more than Rules, because he is Bo Pelini. He is. He kind of looks like him. He talks like him. He thinks like him.
He wins like him.
He also, Bo had this tendency that Bo would try to be funny and he would laugh at his own joke. Cignetti kind of does that once in a while.
He does kind of.
But I'm going to praise Cignetti for this. Not just 15-2 and 14 wins by double figures. And he walks into Kinnick Stadium. And trust me, there'll be days like Notre Dame and Ohio State where he'll get his. But then there will be days like 63-10. I praise him because he is not playing what our role of what we want our coaches to be. He's his own person who is confident, who has an identity, has a chip, and his team plays like that. His team is exactly like he is. And unlike the connection to Bo, who Bo's teams were like he was, they are well coached on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And that's the difference. So I praise him for not being in the box that we like to put our coaches in. He's different. And you're not going to change him. And you're either going to hate him or you're going to be like, man, I'd love to have that guy. But what does Indiana football become? You watch them on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
I watched them play Old Dominion this year. I don't know that ever in the past I would watch Indiana and Old Dominion play in a college football game. And it was 73-0. And I watched the game.
Well, wait. No, not this year. Last year, maybe. This year it was 27-14.
27-14. Who they beat 73-0?
Indiana State.
Indiana State.
Because I watched some of that too.
Not Old Dominion. You're right.
The Old Dominion game, though, was actually pretty good. ODU might win the Sun Belt.
But yet they put up gobnoxious yards where they should have scored 27.
It was stupid.
But I watched them play Indiana State, and I'm like, I would have never done this if it wasn't for Cignetti.
Are people watching Indiana because they want him to lose, or are they watching Indiana because it's
he's drawing a little bit of hate watch, but he's also drawing people like, how's he doing it? All right, let's go into the lab. Let's look, what's he doing? Why when he walks on the field, he doesn't look at any of the security guards. He doesn't look at the fans. He walks straight on the field. All right, he's got a whistle around his neck, and he's all dialed in. He's ready to go out there and play ball.
Is he Bo meets Belichick?
Oh, no, I think he's just...
You don't think he's got any...
I think those coaches that are just, hey, it's all about football, man. It's all about football.
He's
and you know
awesome.
what? I feel confident in who I am, what I do, my team, and we're just going to go out there and we're going to win football games. I don't care what you say about us.
I do think it's funny, like, when some people talk crap, it's really, really cool, and you think they're dope. Like Lane Kiffin. Like, we think Lane Kiffin's the coolest cat. Like,
his daughter may not think so, who is dating a player from LSU. Lane yesterday said, take the over.
This is so good. By the way, the players he's dating, Whit Weeks, was a massive part of On Any Given Saturday. On the Netflix
I
series.
saw that. He was shooting the birds and stuff.
By the way, dope dude. Good for her. I mean, he's like, I'd love to go hunting. He was, by the way, hell of a hunter. I mean, he went 8 for 8 in the shots. Anyway, I digress.
Wow.
With Sig, I just think what it boils down to is that he's kind of funny looking, and he coaches a team that shouldn't be winning, and so he's a little funny. He's a funny looking guy. Coaching
he's a yinzer.
Coaching this measly college football team no one respects, and they go ahead and they're kicking everybody's ass, and people are really, really upset about it. And I love that I love that Connor Happer exists. I do
too. He works with us.
That
He's a
Connor
nice guy.
Happer gets so mad.
Oh, that's right. He has
triggered at Curt
never
Cignetti.
hopped on. He's waiting for the Indiana wagon to fall apart.
Yes. And so it's like part of me loves it because I love seeing these people who can't stand him, who have to do mental gymnastics to try and find a way to discredit him, when all you could say is he took a joke of a program and in 1 year they won 11 games and now they just beat a top 10 team by 53. But now the swing is this, Gary. Illinois was a fake top 10 team according to people. Illinois is a terrible team now. Illinois, screw all of the preseason projections and the fact that they were ranked in the AP
Bert's
top 25.
washed.
They're a bad team now.
Interesting game in Iowa City this weekend.
It won't be 63 to 10.
Very interesting game.
Only on stream. You can only watch it on Peacock.
That's crazy. Rutgers and Michigan State should be on Peacock.
Should be on radio only.
No, what Rutgers is at Minnesota.
No, I'm saying that if those two teams were to play, like I'm just saying, smaller teams, smaller games should be on Peacock. I wasn't talking about a specific game, but
although Peacock does a great production, so
they do
it'll
a very
look good.
production.
They do, and they go to the stadium. They just send raw footage or raw video before they come on air, so you get the whole vibe of the stadium.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Their stream starts up about 30 minutes before kickoff, and it's like 2 cameras where it's inside the stadium.
So you'll want a Nebraska game on Peacock for that reason.
You know, Indiana kind of did to Illinois what Indiana did to Nebraska last year. They kicked the crap out of them and made people believe they were a really bad team.
Iowa JD, staying consistent with his love of Iowa football, says this is not an interesting game. Indiana by 35, easy.
Come on, you're not
Iowa
encouraged at
City?
all about a pretty decent win against Rutgers on the road?
I don't know. I need to talk to him about what is it with Iowa coaches and nepotism. The current head football coach, remember Bruce Pearl used to be an assistant at Iowa, and now
Oh, wow, I
we
didn't
are
know that.
letting his son have a year interview and bailing 6 weeks before the season begins. Auburn fan, I'd be pissed.
Should we do our top 5 Nepo babies?
Well, how many coaches' sons actually work out? The list is really small.
Steve,
like the
is it-
Harbaughs,
yeah,
the Shanahans.
The Ryans worked out.
Yeah. I mean, the list is really small.
Rex and Romb. John Gruden's dad.
The Stoops.
Yes, that's a good one. John Gruden's dad was a pretty well-known coach in football. Brian Callahan, not really working out right now.
No.
Hey, Richard Pitino, though, is working out. That's not bad. I'm trying to think of more. Wow, there are way more coaches' sons than I anticipated.
Lots of procreation.
All right. We can all be jealous of nepotism that our mom or dad did not have a great job that just said, hey, why don't you take over or why don't you come work here? And I'll just get you right in.
Lori Harvey, my number one Nepo baby.
Yeah.
I don't even know what she does.
Brian Christopherson will join us next. We'll also talk a little Nebraska basketball because today, day 2 in Lincoln, they open it up to the media to watch the Turkish Nightmare shooting.
There are so many other players that we could say.
Hey, Kendall Blue, if you are not feeding the basketball to Berke, we're going to have some speaks.
I think I called Kendall Blue Alfred Blue like 4 times. You remember Alfred Blue?
No.
Running back Houston Texans?
Well, now I do know.
Okay, yeah. He was pretty great.
Yeah. I just watched, I called Kendall Blue, and he misses, and Omaha's going to the NCAA tournament. We're back with BC after this in 1620 The Zone. All right, this is the time of the year where sports intersect. Football is going on, and ironically, basketball practice begins on the bye week in Lincoln, where there'll be eyeballs on the Turkish Nightmare, among others, today. From Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. Good morning, BC.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good. Hey, let's start with some basketball, shall we?
Okay.
If Price Sanford and Jamarcus Lawrence are what they were either at Rhode Island or Iowa, respectively, last year or in their career, or even Jamarcus in his lone year at Nebraska, that'll mean what for this team?
Well, it depends. If they get if Nebraska gets the Price Sanford at the end of last year, how he was finishing with Iowa, I think you'll take that every day. He was really on the upswing. I felt like the last few weeks of the season. I've said this before, but much like his brother, his stats sort of line up. Like if you look at his first 2 years, sort of the steady growth, and then it was the junior year for Peyton where it really took off. So not that they're the same guy, but if he can do that, if he can make that jump sort of like his brother did, get in double figures, it's a big deal. And then Jamarcus Lawrence, I just think he got some toughness at Rhode Island. That's a tough league up there. You guys know that. And, those small gyms, the crowds are into it. Guys have a chip on their shoulder that are playing in it. And I think Jamarcus got a little of that and brought it back to Lincoln. So we'll see what that does for him.
All right. Grudgingly, I'm gonna ask you a question about a guy that my co-host is incredibly excited about. When you hear about Bear K being 245 and he's in shape he didn't go back home and he stayed in Lincoln and he's practicing all, you can tell how I feel about him, Brian. Do you buy that if everything actually pans out that he can be a legitimate factor and a difference maker and maybe even, I don't want to say all Big Ten, but a higher caliber Big Ten basketball player? Or do you think we've seen what we've seen?
Don't let me down.
No, he can be higher caliber. He's shown it in flashes, and now it's got to be consistent. There were some really rough days, obviously, shooting it last year. I know he's worked a lot on his shot. We'll see if that can come along. But the part that I like the best about Berke when he played well was like the St. Mary's game. You go back to that, like he had about 8 to 10 minutes in that game where he impacted it more than anybody on the floor, and he would have stations within a game where he would do that. And so, can he consistently be that guy? I think it was good for him that he stuck around and he's worked on his body the way he has, and now he's got to stay injury free. I mean, that's been a big thing. He had one of the best games of his career just before that ankle injury in the last 30 seconds. And that was sort of it for him for the season. Then he never could quite come back from that. So I wouldn't lay a bet down on him one way or the other. That's my opinion, but I'm curious about him. And I think he's important though. I mean, I think Nebraska needs him to be solid and make that move.
I think it'll be, a lot of eyeballs will be on the big Dutchman. It'll be nice to see 51 back on the floor, top of the key, passing the ball, shooting the ball, and rink mass. They've got a lot of different options. I think they have more shooters than they had last year, but they still got to make shots when they're on the floor. I think Fred has more options. I could see them going 10, 11 before they cut back their rotation. But there's one guy who, to be honest, I wasn't overly enamored with him when he was in high school. And, kind of reclassified. He redshirted last year, but he's been the talk of the offseason. And I thought it was a sign that right before they begin practice last week, the media availability, Braden Frager was the guy that was up front. What do you believe to be true about his development in the offseason, that the praise will be warranted, and what his role will be like this year on this team?
I believe at the very least he's got I say this in a good way because it's the word that comes in my mind. I think he's got some chippiness to his game that this team needs. Like we talk every time this offseason Husker Hoops is brought up, it's about, they can put 5 shooters on the floor and all this. That's great. Are they going to have that toughness aspect and those guys who can get the loose balls and do some of the dirty work? And that's a big challenge for a very young player who hasn't actually played in an official college game to like go into that role. But I think he has some of those tendencies that when you hear Fred Hoiberg talk about him, he actually uses Juwan Gary as like an example of like that sort of, guy who can do some of that rugged stuff for you, be good around the rim. And he's got a pretty good shot from everything I've heard. We'll see how that pans out, but he's worked a lot on that. And I think spent as much time in the gym as anybody this off season. So there's no question he's one of the most interesting guys when we get our little glimpse over here. I think people are going to be taking video and shooting photos of. And I'm with you, Gary. I like in high school, I wasn't sure quite what to make of him near the end after he committed. And I think ever since he got to Nebraska, he's put in the work. He's really built up his body. He loves where it's at right now. And he's going to be a factor in the rotation, I think.
I think there were a lot of things that were said yesterday in the 37-minute press conference from Matt Rule that I think there were some positive things, and I like that he said that, and there were some negative things where I'm like, I don't know if I fully agree with that. Just in general, Brian, your biggest takeaway when you're sitting there, what is this something as a reporter and as a writer that you're like, ooh, that stuck with me a little bit. That's something that I'm still thinking about.
I like that he had that line about let's not make this about one or two plays, because I actually do think you can fall into that trap. It's true that if you flip a play or so here, yeah, maybe it changes the outcome. I mean, for instance, even on the onside kick, heck, if Carter Nelson gets that, Nebraska gets the ball, who knows? It could have been one of the more memorable days in Lincoln where they pulled out of their backside, that sort of deal. But I like that he stressed, no, I put in front of those guys like 45 clips. Like this play could have done this. You could have done this on this play. And you add them all up, and it gets that mindset that you have to have that consistency, because within those 45 plays, I'm sure everybody in the room that played saw something in themselves that wasn't good enough or something that impacted how the game could have gone. And so that's where I like that idea and that thinking. I thought it was sort of a deadline day. It was a deadline week, we should say, where they talked about, okay, we got to figure out who is the second running back. Give it to me, guys. Like, who is the guy? Like, it's sort of been, in the wind, and I think people think it's Mekhi Nelson. Who's that guy? He's got to play some, because even though Emmett Johnson got 3.5 quarters, off basically the second and third games because of the blowouts, look at his snap count. He played 69 against Cincinnati, 66 against Michigan. They do need somebody else to step into that role as they come out of the bye and give some reps that you feel good about. And then I think a deadline a little bit too on the tackle discussion. Like, how do they come out of the bye? Is it going to be the same look with Gatula on the left, Prohaska on the right, or do you make a big move there? And he had that line where he said, we'd like this. We wanted this to be kind of settled by Big Ten play, and we'd like to come out with, these are our 5, these are our backups, let's go to battle. This is how it's going to be, sort of deal. And so I thought that was just not surprising, but it's interesting. There is a little bit of a deadline on some decisions. Let's make some big calls here, and let's let some guys, and maybe some younger guys too. He didn't say specifically who they are, but you could guess a few of them that might see the field more coming out of the bye.
Yeah, there's some issues that were issues before we got to Arrowhead. There are some issues that we saw in that game that we saw again on Saturday. But they're only 4 games in. They have 8 to play. And like the offensive line, that's kind of been Donnie's thing. They've gotten better as the season has gone along.
Yeah.
So this can either be your answer to this question or another one. What position group do you think would be primed for a good in-season jump that after 4 games, now the next 4, your opinion will change the most about for the positive?
I think it has to be the offensive line. Yeah. I know that's taking the bait that you just threw out their name, but that's got to be it. Like, this was supposed to be the strength of this team, right? Like one of them. And this was their big opportunity. I mean, let's not forget, these guys were talking about like the Joe Moore Award and stuff like that in interviews. And so they had big goals for themselves. They have the experience. And I think, and they lost the mental game as much as the physical game in a way on Saturday, because I think Michigan was so in their heads with what they were coming or not coming with, or where it was coming from, that Nebraska, I think Rule's right. They were sort of backing up and trying to catch guys as opposed to like you're bringing it to them. And that became the pattern of the game. And so, I mean, that group has to come out firing. And it doesn't necessarily mean it has to be a team. I know everybody's going to get in the run balance ratio and all that stuff, the pass run balance. I think it's interesting how Rule said, like, we want to balance with how we spread the ball out. And if you look at the weapons on this team, some of the best guys are on the perimeter. They're wide receivers, and you got to find ways to get them the ball. So you don't necessarily have to run for 2 bills every week. Be nice if you did, but you need to get in that 100 to 150 range, and then you need to give your quarterback just a little bit more time. Dylan's maybe got to get it out a little quicker in some cases. It goes to everybody, but that was my biggest disappointment from the game on Saturday, guys. It was the O-line. I knew it was going to be a tough game for them. Like, they were going to have to fight, and there's going to be some series that didn't go well. But I was disappointed how, I guess I would say, one-sided I felt it was.
Is there anything that's unfixable? Is anything that, like,
No.
at this point? Okay, cool.
I don't think so. I mean, if you look at the defense, he's also right about this. He said it would be a bigger problem if you felt that entire game that Michigan was lining up and getting 6-7, 6-7, every play. We've seen that before with Husker defenses. We saw a game, back in the day where Wisconsin did that to Nebraska in the whole second half, and you're like, man, there's no fixing it. This is bad.
Sure.
You walked out of that game. This game, when you kind of stepped away from it, you're like, yeah, they missed tackles and they let extra yards pile up. It wasn't good, and obviously Michigan won in the trenches. I did not think Michigan won in the trenches on the offensive line as much as Biff Poggi acted as though they did. I think because if you want to go with what he said, Nebraska actually had Michigan in the third downs they wanted in the fourth quarter. So they were winning on the early downs to get themselves in position. So it wasn't a deal where a team was just wearing on you and there was that drumbeat of inevitability with it. But there were 3 explosives in the first 3 quarters, and then the 3 third downs. And if you add up those yardage, then you can't take it away. It counts. But that's 207 yards on 6 plays of what Michigan accumulated. And so you go back and you look at those plays, and they're going to see in at least 4 or 5 of them examples where one or two guys could have changed the whole direction of that play. Sure. The 75-yarder could have been a 5 to 7 yarder. That's the bottom line.
One thing that didn't come up yesterday, and probably there wasn't time for it. You think we'll have a discussion about the end zones? I really would like to ask Hunter, because I think he probably saw it in the peripheral vision that he was on the red.
Still in the red, yeah.
But that was a great play by Dylan that should have been a touchdown, and instead of 7, you got 3.
Huge play. I saw it in my timeline, that question. I mean, I'm sure it was coming up before the season. There were some people who were concerned about that. And, I think it's valid. I could see where a guy could lose track of it, not see the white there. And the thing I'd say, too, is we obviously don't know a ton about Isaiah Hunter. He's only played for the Huskers for 4 games. But my sense of him through a few interviews and just like even the early games, like in Arrowhead, I think he's a pretty savvy player and a sharp guy. And so I could definitely see where you thought you were in the paint the whole time and you lost track of it. And it's an important play to bring up because if it's 27-24 right there going into the fourth quarter, you just feel a lot different when you're within that range where even if they get a field goal, you can beat them with a touchdown, and it's harder for them to make it a 2-score game on you after that. So that was just a critical play, I thought.
Yeah, great stuff, BC. Always appreciate it. Look forward to your observations from the practice facility today at Hendrick.
All right, I'm gonna hit it hard on who's moving around well over there.
Thank you.
Can you and do me a favor? Please don't do he looks the part tweet, if you will.
I will not do it just because you said that now.
Just a different vernacular.
Embarrassing for me.
Just
okay,
a different
sounds
way
good.
of doing it. Thanks,
I
BC.
appreciate it. That's Brian Christopherson. Oh, okay, so he can't do it, but I will.
No.
Do you know who? Do you know who
it.
is really excited about Bear K?
Stop
Because
it.
of how great shape he's
He
in.
played 25 games last year, and he was subpar. And at times, he literally lost them the game. I don't want to be. Look,
Yeah, all of that's true.
Look,
but
I don't want to
people can change.
I don't want Bear K to hate me. I think he's a great talent, but I'm telling you the facts, and I don't want to get my heart broken.
Okay.
And fall into Bear K is going to be great, and the Bear K just is
Now,
what he was.
I've not said that Bear K is going to be great. I'm just,
I don't know.
you know what? I haven't given up on him. I'm still with the Turkish Doug McDermott.
Also, too, knowing my luck, he's going to turn great, and it's going to fall flat on
Hey,
me, so that'll be good.
Do you know who likes him? The man that tweeted out, "This will be the year. I've seen things." He's seen Bear K. He likes Bear K in shape. He is Kent Pavelka. 41 days away.
He's got to look like damn Captain America if you're gonna get me to tell you he's gonna play well this year.
Creighton begins practice tomorrow. John Walker will stop by. We'll get a little preview. Omaha looked good yesterday. They got some depth. They definitely got some depth.
Yeah, you gave me the analysis. It was great.
Oh, because I was in the middle of doing something. You go, how they look? I said, good.
Yeah, I didn't even respond. I was just like, thanks, Gary.
They look good. They look good. Lance
Good.
Waddle's prime for a big year for Omaha men's basketball.
Back to back, baby.
All right, Clay Travis is a smart man. That's coming up next on 1620 The Zone. All eyes this weekend will be on one quarterback and one quarterback only.
Keegan Bradley doesn't play quarterback.
Nope. Back to the black, they say. You know what they say?
That's what AC/DC says.
Back to the black.
They were back in black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Back to the black. Is that the Purdue end zone? Is that what you're referring to?
That is Bethpage.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No, Purdue, by the way, did change their end zone this year.
They're getting into it.
Yeah, so they changed it so there is no confusion. But this is not Purdue. Will Nebraska change their end zones before Michigan State?
New turf.
I think it's a valid question because I think he made a mistake. Now,
I think
it was a glaring mistake, but I think it was a peripheral vision. I'm trying to track my quarterback, and I can kind of see I'm running in the red, but it was the wrong red.
I think they have to ask.
Red out of bounds. That's what it was. But let me tell you who's the most important quarterback this weekend.
Okay.
Dante Moore. All eyes will be on the Oregon signal caller.
Why is that?
Playing in whiteout, Penn State.
It is that week.
Okay. It's Oregon quarterback. Like this, the Big Ten slate, very, very sneaky.
Know if I get what you're saying.
Because you're not a fan of his. You still got UCLA PTSD.
No.
Chip Kelly ruined him.
That's not true.
I got him working with
true.
Will Stein as OC. I'm like, man, that guy's wheeling and a dealing.
No. I'm just not on the train as you are on the train. You were on the Dante Moore train. I wasn't on the Dante
My train
Moore
is not going fast. It's like the train at the Blank Park Zoo.
I was on the Aiden Childs train, and that's a nice train to be on after his performance. I will say this. I don't even think he's the most important quarterback in his own game, though. I think Drew Aller. But
people know what you're getting with Drew Aller. I think
against good teams.
I think people, yes. I think you know what you're getting because you've seen him play against good teams. I think they're waiting to go, Dante Moore, here's your opportunity. What are we going to do? On the road, Oregon quarterback. The Oregon quarterbacks, like Bo Nix won an important road game. Dylan Gabriel won an important road game.
Yeah.
Now is Dante Moore the next of those two who have turned out pretty well.
See, I don't have the stats. I know what you're saying because Drew Aller definitely more of a known commodity than Dante Moore. Drew Aller right now probably
by this point he's a finished product.
He's an NFL quarterback.
Yep.
Okay. And Dante Moore hasn't proved that yet. But I do think Drew Aller has something to prove because you go and you look at his game logs against the best competition. Drew Aller has not played his best football.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, I mean, probably his best game against good competition was against Oregon last year in the Big Ten Conference Championship game. But, I mean, he didn't have his best stuff against Notre Dame. He didn't have his best stuff against Boise State. You know, he played an okay game against Illinois, but he only threw for I
already know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready for the new Dante Moore. So that's why I'm watching him. I'm not saying he is going to go in there and wow everybody, but he's the guy that I'm watching, and I think of importance to his team. Now, on the other coast, I got a little nugget for you. Ready?
Yeah.
So I like Damon Williams of Washington.
You do?
I like Fish and Williams together.
You're on that from the beginning.
Yeah, that's a good seafood restaurant, by the way. If you're in Seattle,
what
Fish and Williams?
I was about to say.
Yes, thank you. Washington has scored on 15. They've had touchdowns. 15 of their 16 trips into the red zone have been touchdowns.
Good Lord.
Ohio State has not allowed a red zone touchdown. So do what you will with that. Watch that game. 2:30. Ohio State at Washington. Place will be rocking. It'll be loud. It will be in the Big Ten. If Clay Travis had his way, Nebraska would be in the SEC. So whenever you mention the name Clay Travis nowadays, people
wince. Dependent on your.
You've got an opinion.
Yes.
So little backstory. Clay Travis used to be, before he slid in with him and Buck and took over Russia's spot, Clay was on Fox before this show. And it was a sports show. But it wasn't a lot of politics, but it was kind of off the wall stuff. But he liked sports, and he's always been a diehard college football fan. So Clay Travis, when I first started here, used to come on this show quite a bit, and we talk college football. I didn't know him as a political guy, and he really wasn't. He wasn't doing political radio back then. He was doing local radio in Nashville, and And then he got into doing it wasn't Outkick. It was it was a Clay Travis show.
Sure,
so it aired
sure.
before us. People would just hate it. They'd call. Shane would pick up the phone and be like, oh, geez, can we start before 7 today?
Yeah.
Because people are ticked off at Clay. But Clay would come on and we talk football. He's a Tennessee fan. So that's one thing. He's always been a college football guy. But you say his name and people are like, bah! So yesterday on his Outkick show, he talked about Nebraska. What do you think he talked about Nebraska about? The Monday after they got beat by Michigan.
That maybe they shouldn't be in the Big Ten anymore.
Okay, so he has mentioned this before, and I agree with him knowing the SEC and going to half the stadiums in that league. He said that Nebraska is in the wrong conference. Not because of the competition and they're not winning. He did it more as the cultural fit with the fans and the passion, that it more is in line with the SEC than it is the Big Ten. I've been saying that for a while. Like if you go to an SEC game and you live in SEC country and you hear the talk shows and you see all the podcasts.
Yeah.
There are more qualities that match Nebraska's fan base and media core than do other Big Ten schools. So, these conversations they're great when you're not winning. When you're winning, you're like, well, we're in the Big Ten, love being in the Big Ten. But I was in agreement with him that in terms of the fit of the fans and the culture, Nebraska's closer to the SEC than they are the Big Ten.
Yeah, we've said that before.
And I heard somebody went to the Mizzou South Carolina game this weekend, and they said Mizzou is actually starting to turn into, it feels like the SEC. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because Mizzou football fans don't strike me as a ton of passion like, basically 18 schools in the SEC do, or 16 schools in the SEC do. So I'm in agreement with Clay Travis on this, that Nebraska's in the wrong conference because of what makes up Nebraska.
Yeah.
That the SEC would be a better fit.
Your move, Danon.
I just don't.
Your move, Big Ten.
I just don't think I think that there are too many teams in the Big Ten who really don't give a damn whether or not their football team is good or not. Like, I don't really think Maryland is on pins and needles on whether or not Loxley's going to figure it out. And I think you could say that about Northwestern. I think you could say that about Rutgers. I think you could say that.
Could you say that about Wisconsin?
No, I think they can.
What's the commitment to football financially at Wisconsin post Barry Alvarez?
Not maybe at the level of the expectations of the fans, but post Barry Alvarez.
Why is that? Wisconsin has been extremely successful.
See, I can't answer that question other than maybe they just care about basketball more, or maybe they want to put more money into basketball, or maybe they've been in the middle tier of the Big Ten for so long that it's not really worth them. But I mean, they're still selling. They still have people going to the games. They still have students going to the games. They still have those great traditions. There's still a want for them to be good at football. So I think you can say they're maybe on the downturn, but I don't think they are not in the Maryland Rutgers conversation at all.
No.
They're not
in the Nebraska conversation?
Well, I think
there's been a lack of financial commitment to football at Wisconsin. Now, that does not excuse Wisconsin in 3 years under Fickle not improving in an area you go, whoa, they are so much better there.
There's a bigger picture to their whole.
I don't know. The dynamics of Wisconsin are always weird to me because of Barry Alvarez. And maybe, you know what? They were doing some voodoo magic at Wisconsin.
Sure.
But yet it's a state that produces, either they send them to Madison, or it's a good state for high school football talent. Now, it's not going to overwhelm you.
No.
But it's
get some great linemen. And they did
and
for years.
I mean, it might be a case of, if you look at like a Nebraska and a Wisconsin, and they've made interesting hires along the way. The Gary Andersons of the world, the Mike Rileys of the world. They may have had, for the longest time, coaches in place that worked some voodoo magic, that they were so good at their job, they just clouded over everything. And you got way too comfortable, and you're like, man, if Alvarez can do it,
it's always gonna be
if Bielema can do it,
sure,
and if Osborne can do it, anybody can do it. Instead of going, whoa. They were just really, really good. We got to help out the next guy, instead of just saying, oh, hey, they've turned it into a turnkey. Just slide the next guy in there, and they're going to have success.
But I think those sliding in the next guy is so much easier said than done, because even look at
of course,
like Alabama is going through it now, where they've tried to slide in the next guy and it has not gone the way that they want it to go. And
no, but they did approach Dan Lanning.
I think it's.
You imagine Lanning at Alabama. I like him in the Big Ten, though.
Be a wagon.
I can't wait for Oregon, Indiana to play, and Cignetti and Lanning going toe-to-toe on Tuesday of press week.
I just think that Wisconsin has had too much success, and maybe success is a relative word, but like they've had so many winning seasons with coaches that aren't Barry Alvarez to the point where I don't.
Now, Bielema had success.
Paul Chryst had a 13-win season. Like they've won under other coaches. So I wouldn't fully. I know what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. That maybe the football program, we look at it more fondly than what it's actually operating at because of the tremendous amount of success and excellence that they had as coaches before that. I think you could be spot on there, but I would not throw them into the dweller tier of the Big Ten.
No, that's what I wasn't saying.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that.
I think another thing is, how you found, like sometimes we're in it, so we think very highly of the program that we cover or follow. The dose of reality hits when you have a job opening.
It does.
And who is interested in the job? Because whether Fickle is there next year or not, there's already lists out there, but they're very, outside of a Jim Leonard coming back, they're somewhat underwhelming. Like I like Jason Eck at New Mexico.
Well,
I like Matt's idea.
Like Nebraska. If you go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cycles of coaching, they've had to hire 2 guys that didn't have a job.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if
that's true,
we had us as media and fans had this incredible list of people that'd be perfect for Nebraska that were pipe dreams. And you see the names that are, and you go, ooh,
yeah.
You get kind of a dose of reality.
Do you think though
now I think
you mean Urban wasn't interested?
No. Either was Houston Nutt.
About Chris Peterson.
I'm glad we're not going to have to do this for a while.
Can I throw something out there to you though about the names being underwhelming? Do you think the names are underwhelming because NIL has created more good jobs in college football now?
I don't know. Also might be underwhelming because you have 2 schools that fired a 9-win coach.
Okay.
So they're like, whoa, I'm not walking into those expectations.
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for that. There's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, because like in the past, the Indiana head coach would, without a doubt, for sure leave for Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah. Well, he used to be a placeholder until basketball started.
That's a good point too. But you know what I'm saying? Now that doesn't exist. Same thing with like SMU. A
lot of money down there.
Like there's
a lot of money.
Well, like,
I think SMU is different because SMU got into a conference.
Yeah, well,
and they have a ton of money.
But SMU is not to the name level of maybe some other programs in the past maybe an SMU coach would leave for. But now that SMU has all those big donors and they are in that power conference,
you can be a little more selective.
You can be way more selective if you're
I asked Andy Enfield. I said, you guys, your wife, your kids love Southern California. He had a great setup at USC. Now, he wasn't winning. He kind of felt the pressure a little bit. And I said, I get the Metroplex. And he goes, you got to understand, SMU, the access to financial resources at SMU and the ACC is why I left. Because I said, Andy, people think you took a step back. And he's like, nope, you'll find out.
Yeah.
And I mean, I learned more about it, and they could make the playoff, their first year in the ACC in football, and basketball is going to be in a good spot. So, yeah, I mean,
Pony Excess was on to something.
But part of what you said at the end is the money changes things where, all of a sudden the Texas Tech jobs are really good jobs.
Well, that's
Right?
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And SMU is a really good job because of the NIL.
All right, here is Joe. Joe, good morning.
Morning. How are you guys?
Joe, how are you?
Man, life is good. I'm blessed. Quick shout out to Husker Wrestling. It's going to be a good season coming up.
Hey, give me hey, hold on, Joe. Joe, I don't think, have you ever met Joe? Average Joe?
I don't believe I met
Joe's a diehard Nebraska wrestling fan. I am doing an event tonight with Mark Manning, Brian Snyder, and Antrell Taylor. You want me to ask him a question?
Any chance for getting Bo Bassett?
Okay. All right. I'll ask that. I'll have to ask that question on the side, but not publicly. But yeah.
Yep. Yeah, they can't say
Yeah.
publicly, but that's the question I got. That's what I want to know.
Okay.
They had an open practice. They had two of them. I went to the first one, and
I saw it was packed.
It was packed. It was nice. I think the support's going to be a little better this upcoming year. But a couple quick thoughts on football. A lot of people had Nebraska picked to lose this Michigan game. A lot of people had them picked to lose preseason. And then as the game approached, I sort of don't understand why a group of or a bunch of Husker fans, or I don't know how many, seem to always freak out even though they picked us to lose. And I'm like, I don't know. It just baffles me that we knew it was going to be a tough game.
Yeah. So, yesterday, and I mentioned this because looking at the emotions, if you thought Nebraska was a championship team, you crushed Nebraska after that game. If you thought Nebraska was 8-4, you were probably like, man, that would have been a nice one to have, but I didn't have it chalked up as a win. We still got a lot of the season left.
100%. No, and I'm with you on that. It's the other people that are sort of, we got to pull Dylan. We got to, we got to fire Butler. It's just,
God dang it,
I don't
Tom
know,
Fornelli.
just crazy talk. But another quick thing is, I think is it the Pede or Pete's, however you pronounce it.
Yes.
We need another one of those guys. We need another.
Yeah, we'll just order it.
Set of donors, and I don't know if that's the AD's job or if that's Rule's job, but good Lord, it would be nice to get another guy or another group of guys or a couple investors to kick in and sort of up all that. And that's what I got.
So the Pede family, and they love Nebraska and they love Nebraska athletics. They have donors, but the Pede family, I mean, for the introduction of the NIL, they were basically fronting the NIL program for Nebraska.
Right.
So why their name gets brought up compared to somebody else is because they are behind the collective and they are financially invested. So they work hand in hand with the athletic department. There are other donors out there. I don't know if you heard me say a couple of weeks ago that we need to go back to Coke in the stadium because that's the last thing for Warren. You'll get a little bit of Warren's money if you can go back to Coke because he's ticked off, 30 years later.
Oh, really? I did not know that. And, I've been to two of the home games this year, and I'm not a Pepsi fan. I wanted a Coke. And
thank you.
That part I didn't know. That's interesting.
So this is coming out a little bit more as Coke is trying to get back onto the campus in Lincoln.
Yeah. Is Airmark anti-Coke pro Pepsi?
No, that's a separate contract. So this is it's not just for the stadium. If you do a beverage deal, like Pepsi has the whole campus in Lincoln.
They do.
So it's not just the stadium,
Right,
it's the whole campus. But as Coke is trying, and Coke almost got back in last year, there is people that are saying, hey, he won't tell you this, but I know that Warren 30 years ago, because he's Mr. Coke, when Coke left UNL, Warren was not happy.
It got his feelings hurt. Well, let's bring
I'm right.
Bring it back.
Hey,
bring it back.
Hey, the best way to win is to do Coke.
Soda. I don't drink soda, but like at a game, I might have one, and I love classic Coke. But anyway, that's what I got. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks, Joe.
All right. Daddy needs a new running back. Bring in the Diet Coke, baby.
I mean, Nebraska's in a state of 1.9 million. Okay, there are people that donate. There are people that have been tapped and tapped and tapped.
Yes,
they do need to find the mega donor. Like
they do.
Hyder family.
What are you talking about?
Didn't you like Coach Osborne? Wait.
Why do I have to hide
instead of the money? Gary? Instead of the money going downtown, maybe is there any Lincoln connection there? Like Nebraska athletics and I don't know. These are all quiet, so maybe there's something bubbling that you'll find the mega donor in a family has 100 million, and they say, "Here comes athletics." But the stark reality of Nebraska is, you got a lot of things going on at the same time. You're trying to win. You're trying to build a roster. You're trying to compete upstairs with financially.
Yeah.
You also got a stadium that needs some help. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're also, and you remember, you're only in a state of 1.9 million. Okay. And then the big time donors who have been gracious, they're the ones that are getting, they're over and over and over again. So Nebraska is lucky enough to have the Pede family that's basically bankrolling the NIL.
That's great.
And then thank God they're invested and they've got a great relationship, because how many other collectives out there, guys, does the head football coach mention them numerous times by name?
Not a ton.
No.
Not a ton that I've seen.
They might mention like the Flying Eagles, or
Sure.
I'm just making up a collective. But it's no longer 1890. It's the Pede family.
Yeah.
Hey, Sand Hills Global. Hey, there we go. Pede family.
He said it. He said it in press conferences multiple times. And you bring up a great point, and I want to add to it because I've said this for a while. Like, state of 1.9 million, you only have so many people that you can go to the well to and ask to get money from.
Yeah.
Man, the ROI on NIL and investing in athletics really isn't that great. Like, from a financial perspective, you're not really making, unless you do a true, hey, NIL advertising package. But if we're just speaking more so in the I give money and it helps you aspect, the ROI isn't there. You're just giving money and you're not getting any money back. And very few people end up being very happy and get that true passionate ROI at the end of the year, because only 12 teams make the playoffs and only 4 make the semifinals and only 1 wins a national championship. And so you do, like, when you talk about a mega donor, like, that is the advantage of, you don't really have to worry about, are they going to get cold feet, or are they going to say, I can't give this amount of money this year? Because this is a problem that I think is going to happen across the country, of where you're just going to get donors who are like, you know what? I've given you $10 million over the last 10 years. I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
I want to buy a boat.
Yeah. The test case that's going on in Lubbock, they're winning. They won in softball.
Mm-hmm.
They're winning in football. Not everybody is set up to do that. But if you're a Texas Tech fan, you're like, I'm on board.
Oh, God,
What do I do? Because they're winning.
Yes.
They are winning.
Yes, good point.
All right. Couple more segments before the crossover. We'll get some emails and some tweets and some stream comments on this Tuesday, where Dylan is still the quarterback at Nebraska.
What is this music today?
This is Miss Rachel.
I don't even know. Who is this? Why are you dancing like that? What are we talking about?
This song is about high humidity. That's why she's soaking wet.
Hey, it's Tuesday in the club. Randy writes in.
This is the Big Boss Ross?
Big Boss Man. Are we talking wrestling?
No.
Big Bear Chase Me.
Okay. All right, let's talk about this. This is Randy's email. Coca-Cola. It's the real thing.
Oh, Rick Ross. Is that Rick Ross?
Just stop where you're. Don't just
take a knee.
Take a knee. Take a knee.
Sit this one out.
Time out.
Throw the ball out of bounds. Okay.
In fact, just throw it to the other team.
We're gonna take a timeout with 4 minutes left of the third quarter to get organized.
So throw the ball out of bounds. Okay. Teach Dylan a thing.
Was that not Rick Ross?
Teach Dylan a thing, and it's okay to have a point off your completion percentage.
Sometimes you gotta lay it.
Randy writes in. WTH. This should have been done years ago. The color scheme is perfect. You could have the N on all the cans and products and promo them in regional markets.
Oh, you're talking about Coke again.
Yeah. Hey, there is the marketing aspect of Coke because I've seen what they're doing for UNO. It's mammoth. I think it was, hey, there's a lot of people that like Coke in Lincoln.
Coca-Cola.
They were close.
I'm not judging.
They were close.
Pepsi is the inferior.
Pepsi sucks.
It's the real thing.
So that's incorrect.
The choice of a new generation.
Pepsi does not suck.
Okay.
Pepsi's a fine.
Hey, I'll
product.
have a Jack and Pepsi.
Have you had it? Jack and Pepsi
Jack
before?
and RC Cola.
I don't drink Pepsi.
It's
drink.
good.
There are Pepsi products that I will dabble in, like some Diet Dr. Pepper and some Diet Mountain Dew. But
good call.
Hey, I am not shoving Pepsi down my throat.
Okay, nobody's asking you to shove anything down your throat. Okay,
well, that's good.
If anything, we would just ask you to drink it nice and calmly,
No,
and in a
it
very
is the
healthy
worst.
and clean
It
manner.
is. I have in my lifetime. I have gotten up twice out of a restaurant where all they have is Pepsi.
Like you left.
I don't want to see.
Remember, I am the guy that drives through McDonald's.
You left OG
just to get a Diet Coke.
It does hit different.
That's great. I get
Damn
what
it.
you're saying. I was making a non-biased point for a second that Coke is clearly the number one product, and Pepsi is the inferior product, and we look down on Pepsi.
Does it even go 7 games?
Yeah, no, God no. But Coke beats Pepsi in 5. Even Coke has dominated the non-regular Coca-Cola market too. Like they're Zero Sugar is better. Their Diet Coke is better. Their Coke Zero is better. Their Cherry Cola is better. Their Vanilla Cola is better. I agree with all of it.
I do not know if this is true or not. So you're going to have to go there to see. But Vala's most wonderful time of the year. Go there this weekend. Go there every day until November 2nd. The new attractions, they got fireworks every Friday night. Fun family activities. Connor Hepper and the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Show. I have an opportunity for you to win tickets. Speaking of brands and drinking.
Okay.
You know what is now America's top-selling beer brand?
Modelo.
No, they have been knocked off.
Yeah,
no, Bud
this
Light?
happened yesterday.
You are, hey.
Even I know this, and I don't even get on Twitter.
You are Kyle Tucker out of Chicago's offense, okay? By the way,
first off,
I don't know if we'll see Kyle Tucker ever play again for the Cubs.
Is he not coming back for the offs? I thought we were
Could
good.
the Astros get him back? We're desperate.
I don't know.
You called it, by the way.
I would hope he signs a Bellinger contract, the 1 year prove it, but he's injured, and I don't know if he's going to come back, and they need some help on offense.
I'll take a Bregman deal with him.
Okay. You want to try another one?
That was a good baseball.
You want to try? I know you try.
Yeah.
We got hey, TBS tonight. Get locked in. Cubs,
I know. I'm
Cubs,
there
Mets.
with you.
Yes.
We got the 6-gamer last series at Wrigley last week. Got to hold on. Padres won last night down to, 2.5 with 6 to play.
Yes.
Okay. Brewers, help us out. Help a brother out. Okay. But you know what? I'm hoping that the Padres are hungover when they play the Brewers and they get, and us being hungover in Cincinnati is by the wayside, and we'll be good with the Mets, who, by the way, need to win, or $340 million is not going to make the postseason. All right. It is not Bud Light.
Busch Light.
It is not Busch Light.
No, that's Ames.
Coors.
It is not Coors.
Is this the
Golden Sombrero? Let's go.
How have you not gotten it?
What? Modelo was the former.
Yes,
Coors Light was the
so
former.
Modelo used to be until yesterday.
You're overthinking
America's new top-selling beer brand.
Is it my great tasting, less filling, 96 calorie, 3.2?
You have the right idea, but that's not it.
What is going on?
I mean, I asked that every
Mick
day.
Ultra
Get out of here.
is
What a
the
joke.
top-selling beer
What
brand.
a joke. That's not even a beer.
That's what they tell me. It's a salad in a bottle.
No, that's disgusting.
It's water.
It's water. It
Yeah.
tastes like nothing. There's no what.
This is Dasani made beer.
That is
Dasani also
that
Coke
is
product.
honestly, as somebody who loves beer, that hurts my soul. That the most
Mick
sold
Ultra
beer is
beat
Mick
Modelo.
Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? You know
It's
what?
like Penn
I said
State
this-
beating Miami
I
in the
said
Fiesta Bowl.
People in the health world, and they said a lot yesterday.
No,
they will
said a
also
lot.
tell you, why get the shot when you can just drink Mick Ultra? Because it is less than 100 calories.
Like Billy
point.
Bob Thornton says in Landman, it's not drinking, it's Mick Ultra. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing.
We
though.
got we're countdown.
When I
We're
don't
about 2 months away.
what I don't get about I went to
Season 2.
when I was in high school like 2 years ago. We had
I remember
these cookies, right? And they were awesome.
I like those cookies.
All right? The chocolate chip cookies. You can buy them at the Notre Dame College Prep cafeteria. They were
You're
legendary.
walking on the moon.
They were so good.
I bet at that place where they cost about $5 a cookie.
They cost $1.
They're extra
It was
bougie.
$1.
That's
a cookie.
surprising.
So everybody had a cookie a day. Like it was just such a great. Now what happened?
sounds
what
like where I grew
happened
up.
is they got rid of the cookies because apparently they were too unhealthy. That they had too many saturated fats, and we were all like,
That's where they drew the line.
we were like, guys, we're not eating this cookie to be healthy. Okay, I'm not looking right.
You know,
to
cigarettes
lose
are
weight.
bad for you.
Yeah, I'm not looking to lose weight by eating a cookie. That's what I feel like about beer. All right, if you're drinking beer, why are you thinking about being healthy? You're already unhealthy. You're drinking a 90-calorie drink. Just go up a calorie. Just go up 1 calorie, and have get greater taste and less filling beer.
I'm listening.
It's just Mick Ultra's disgusting.
What is the caloric intake of a neutral?
Of a neutral?
Oh yes, this conversation. I think
Everybody
it's
is
more.
drinking a neutral these days.
Yes, they're sponsoring something we're doing.
I saw more.
Oh, there it is.
I saw young and older people drinking neutrals Saturday tailgating.
Neutrals have cleared White Claws.
I was looking at some of the youngins that go to school in Lincoln that were of age. By the way, they were of age because they were checking IDs. I think they were forced to drink neutrals because it's cool. Because I wanted to say this one young lady.
You were going to get into it.
I'm
with
like, I think you would like something different. And I know because you have peer pressure, because your other friends are drinking it, you don't like that, do you? I wanted to say that to her so much. I said, hey, keeping it tasty? No, just keep it trashy. Throw that thing in the.
Jeez. Neutral vodka is 100 calories.
Okay.
So, and it's 12 ounces per can. And speaking about neutral seltzers, 1620 The Zone is a
Hell
special
yes,
treat
there you
for
go, Matt.
California Dream and Flyaway, powered by Neutral Vodka Seltzer. 2 tickets to Nebraska versus UCLA November 8th. 2 round-trip tickets from Omaha to LAX. 2-night stay in hotel on a $350 gift card to spend on food, merch, or Ubers. Enter online at 1620thezone.com for your chance to win. And you don't have to be the popular guy, the popular gal. You can just be
anybody.
Guy and gal that love good drinks. And you know what's a good drink? Neutral vodka seltzers.
And I don't know if they sell that at the Rose Bowl or what their soda is, but you will find out by going.
Neutrals have cleared. Neutrals are good.
You know what? If you go to California and you really want to drink a good beer, a little IPA Imperial Double, you got to check out Russian River Brewing Company. All right.
Okay.
All right.
I like
Pliny,
that shop.
Pliny the Elder.
How about Lagunitas?
I've had that.
It's a good
Shout
one.
out San
That's
Diego.
California IPA.
Yeah. Golden Road or Golden Rod.
Oh, I've had that before.
Yeah. I saw one of their big trucks in Omaha. Yeah. The founders of the brewery in California are Kansas City Chiefs fans. So when the Chiefs won their first Super Bowl, they made special.
Have you
special
ever
ones.
you ever have an all day IPA?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Usually I get up at 6 if I'm drinking until the night. It doesn't last me the whole day, but I'm figuring it's an AD.
No.
You ever watched a running back that was called all day?
Oh, hell yes.
Yes.
God, how good was he in college?
He was. First year down the sideline, I was like, damn, that's a grown ass man.
See, you guys remember him in college. I remember him in the NFL.
It's because I was in college.
Yeah.
Like
we were not in high school just a couple years ago.
Yeah, just a year ago. I was in high school.
You know, I could have taken you to that game where I saw him. Like, hey,
I would have been
this
little
guy.
child kidnapping.
No,
Well, not when it kidnapped you. I would have asked, like, hey, can Matt come to the game with me?
You could have sat on Jimmy's lap.
Yeah. Well, I could do that right now.
You know, you probably wouldn't have had to pay for a ticket.
No.
Yeah.
No. Norman, yeah.
All right, quick break. We'll come back. We'll put a wrap on this show.
Adrian Peterson was a Viking and Ndamukong Suh was a lion, you know?
Okay.
That's just how we
So
remember.
in
And
Nebraska.
then they also played for
At Oklahoma and Nebraska.
in the
Used to play
NFL.
each
They
other.
also played for.
Well, AP played for the Cardinals and the Saints and the Seahawks, and Ndamukong Suh played for the Dolphins, Buccaneers, and Eagles, and Rams.
Mhm.
Bang.
There you go.
They are great for the immaculate grid.
Yes, they are. All right. We're back with more after this. 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back in, Gary and Matt with Jimmy. Special plays, special teams, special players. Tuesday.
Come on, brother.
What's up, brother?
Come on, brother.
What happened to Sketch?
Look at Dobie. I don't know. Dobie's going to be a tough guy to beat, brother. Check Tuesday, brother. He got famous and kind of big.
What Sketch disappear?
He kind of Bobby jinxed on us a little bit.
Really?
Damn.
Whoa.
Rest
Terrible.
in
Whoa.
peace.
Sorry.
Damn.
I meant.
Whoa.
I meant he got fatter. Not sorry. Rest in peace.
Whoa.
Yeah, Bobby Jenks is not
My
fatter. He's gotten a lot
apologies.
skinnier.
That was so bad. I didn't.
He didn't even sweep
Rest
your
in peace.
team in the World Series.
No, I
and
liked Bobby Jenks. Rest in peace, Bobby Jenks. I didn't. I forgot. Unfortunately,
Ozzie
he
had the
passed
best
away.
call
But
to the
what I was
bullpen for
saying,
him.
well, yeah, that's what I'm referring to. Ozzie Guillen went like this and this.
Weight shamed him.
He went like that.
Speaking of TikTok,
and
stop.
Sketch has gone.
Stop.
You know.
Speaking of TikTok,
We're out of bounds.
So President Trump is going to TikTok's going to survive, thankfully, because there's some shows I don't want to pay for, so I just watch them on TikTok. I watch them in like 2-minute clips. One of the names that he mentioned that is an investor in TikTok
is Trump.
I don't think legally.
Yeah,
he can.
legally.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying he said it.
Yes, he said this. What is today? Tuesday?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of stuff going on yesterday. But when he was talking about TikTok, one of the names that he mentioned is Larry Ellison.
Really?
Who is the mega sports booster for Michigan.
And Illinois.
He didn't give anything to Illinois.
I think he's given things to Illinois.
No,
he went
just
to Illinois.
give him
he
some-
better
give
give
him
some
a
things to
defense.
Illinois.
Why?
Because
loves
he went there.
Michigan football is better than Illinois.
You don't think Balk and Brad got a little, money under the table from Larry?
What, so they could recruit every foreign player
Yes.
to bring to America?
Merkovich, Miritich, Hasich.
Oh yeah, they lost Yakachona.
So
Balk and Brad, baby.
President Trump was rattling off names, and some of them I recognize. And then he said, and Larry Ellison. And the only reason I know the name is because he is Bryce Underwood's sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a crazy way of putting it. He's Michigan sugar daddy. He's not 18-year-old Bryce Underwood sugar daddy.
Well, that painted a much more sinister picture.
I mean, wouldn't you like to brag about that I was the sugar daddy for a player?
Yeah, it's called Dave Portnoy. That's what he does.
Okay.
Dave literally has bragged about how it wasn't just all Larry Ellison. Portnoy put money up.
I'd hope
to
so,
get
for as
Underwood.
much as he honks about that.
And he set up the meeting with Ellison to make sure they can get Underwood.
So what you're saying is Nebraska needs a radio or content creator that has had a company that has grown.
Yeah,
that can do it?
give me 15 years.
Okay. By then, this will be a basketball school.
According to some people, no.
In the Big 30.
Couple of things here. Kent says NIL needs to get creative. Find a way for the average guy like me to donate without even knowing it. Add $1 to every purchase in the stadium that goes straight to NIL. Buy a licensed hat. $5 goes to NIL.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
Now, here's here's another. Well,
I don't know.
they're
They're going to upcharge you anyway. You might as well.
There's addition to tickets. Some places there is the option more and more today when you go to the concession stand. Hey, would you like to round up?
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, you go to the Chai, you go to Baxter.
Yeah, that's
in play.
Yeah, I think that's okay. But forcing it is what I have.
But
a problem.
here's something from I would call him a Jasker, Texter Bernie.
Okay.
Brings up an interesting point. He says the other problem for Nebraska with NIL is Creighton needs NIL for basketball, and the Omaha people are getting hit by both.
Whoa, I didn't think about that. That actually is a great point. Now, is there, because I don't know, is there crossover between big donors who are Creighton people and big donors who are Nebraska people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that support both
Jaskers.
Support both athletic departments.
I mean, that's tough.
Oh.
It really is going to come down to who would you rather give money to? Creighton basketball or Nebraska football?
So the bottom line with this story is, Fred, you got to do your job. You got to be better than Creighton basketball and run Creighton off the map. So all of a sudden, Nebraska basketball is enticing. So that the people in Omaha would like to pay more attention to the program in Lincoln than the program here. But the problem is, the program here has had a run of success where you like to root for it, and you're attracted to that program more than the program down in Lincoln. So that's the problem. If you're a wise person with your cash, you're going downtown. You're not going on I-80. So, Fred, you got some work to do.
Yeah. The future of Nebraska football lies on the shoulders of Barricade Buchtengel. Awesome.
I would hope that's not the case because
that's what you just said. If they got to start winning.
Yeah, you can't say that at 9:49 when the show's almost over.
Understanding his past history, he has like a weak shoulder.
Yeah, and a weak ankle and a weak jump shot.
No.
And a weak basketball IQ.
Why?
Damn.
Why?
He did not play good basketball last season. I'm
but
not
that
going to fall
doesn't mean
for it
that
until I see it.
he can't dribble a couple of times and maybe hit a mid-range.
You're paying for that? You're paying all that for that?
Hey.
I could do that. I could go out there and do that. If that's all you need, you see the guy to
Now,
dribble handoff, I could do
You
that.
said some
I'll join
crazy
you.
things in your
Thank you.
lifetime.
I need money.
There's no way that you could go out and do what he does in college basketball.
You just said all I want him to do is dribble the ball
Couple times.
a couple times.
But you got to make the shot.
Okay.
Now
That's
he's
the
being
catch.
defended.
Yeah, I can, put a smaller guy on me.
I just need him to be 1 of 11. I don't need him to be 1 of 1.
But I'm just saying that to your logic, if Nebraska football is going to prosper, it's Nebraska basketball taking the attention away from Creighton basketball, and that
it's
entails Burke Buchanan.
In Omaha. No, it's not going to happen overnight. Hey, what Creighton has established while Nebraska went down, that's going to take a long time. And Creighton's not going to go anywhere. I mean, they're not going to let that program slip.
No, Huss Bus is going to keep it going.
So it's on you to get it rolling where I don't have to have a discussion with another season ticket guy. And he goes, man, I'm excited for the season, but you know what's going to be? We're going to play good teams in the Big Ten, and because they have NIL and we don't, we're not going to be able to compete. I'm like, man, that's already defeat us. And practice hasn't even started.
We don't even know what guys look good.
But it actually is the reality, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, they're fighting against it more this year because of rev share than they were in years past. But it's not like this is a new thing. Like there have been Nebraska has beaten teams that are spending way more money than them in NIL. They beat Purdue. They beat Wisconsin. They beat teams that
but
invest
just
in it.
like football, close losses don't matter, and the narrative needs to shift to winning.
Oh, sure.
It's results driven. I'm not going to use the word optimistic. I think I'm very intrigued by what they have in Lincoln for basketball this year. I want to see how this is all going to fit together. But I think Fred learned from his lessons from last year. And he also has ring mass back, which is a huge thing.
We agree that this team is way better for Fred because of the spacing, right? I mean,
they have more options on shooters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
and
what they ran into.
Probably they're going to have a couple of guys that can handle the basketball.
When they can actually run a 4.
But at the end of the day, this year will come down to when we hit March 1, is the team in Lincoln being discussed in a bracket.
Oh, I think so.
I mean,
I don't think they're going to be like a 6 lock or anything like that, but they should be. They should be around the 9-10 bubble combo.
The years where Nebraska breaks through, it seems like it's unexpected, so it makes it more rewarding. And you're like, oh man, this is an enjoyable season. Did not expect this. They were 13th, they were 14th in the Big Ten. Now all of a sudden they're competing. They're 7th and 8th, and they might be in the NCAA tournament as an 8 or a 9. I can't believe it. It's the years where people go, man, this team might be pretty good. That they just go, boop.
But yeah. That's one thing. When we talk about the NIL, it wasn't like Nebraska's problem last year was losing to teams that had more NIL than them. Nebraska's problem last year was losing to teams that they should have beat.
Great question here. This is how we'll finish. Everybody dropped these great questions as we're going off the air. Mayor Mike yesterday had a discussion about, would you trade Dillon for an all Big Ten offensive tackle or a defensive lineman?
Yeah.
Bernie, once again, and he has to throw this in there. I'll have some speaks with him. He says Creighton's been a far better investment for 20 years for donors. If you had $100,000 to give, do you trust Rule to get a running back or Mac to find a point guard?
Damn, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with Mac.
Mac.
Yeah. Shut up, Mac. Thanks for listening.
If we're going apples to oranges here, Mac is a more successful basketball coach than Matt Rule is a more successful football coach. He's made the playoffs more, been competing, has ranked wins and whatnot, has won regular season conference titles, has won conference tournament titles as well. I mean, he's just straight up. Yeah. So I'd give it to Mac. I would trust Mac more than Rule.
Good show, everybody. Dillon will practice and will still be the starting quarterback when we reconvene tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Our poll, by the way, 95% of our people think Matt is not a grown-up.
I didn't know we had a poll.
I didn't know we had a poll.
Yeah, we had a poll. I said it.
Oh.
Yeah, you said a poll. Yeah. It's still up till tomorrow, so there's still time to vote.
There's the 5%.
5% think you're a
I'm
grown-up.
buying a desk.
It started at 2.
I'm buying a desk this week. Does that boost me at all?
Might. You can go vote now on our Twitter.
Are you shaking your head laughing because you love me,
No,
or shaking
'cause
your
I'm-
head laughing
No.
because you're like, why am I
I'm
hosting?
shaking my head because I'm trying to figure out a week from today who's going to be my starter in the wild card best of 3. That's what I'm thinking.
It's Cade.
I also got to figure out my bullpen. Palencia looked good in his rehab. Should be back this week. All right, let's do it. We're back tomorrow at 6. Also, think about this. This is a homework assignment.
Oh, thank you.
What if Nebraska football is just who they are? We've seen through 4 games. Are you okay accepting that? If that's just who they are and they just play the schedule in front of them?
No.
Wait till tomorrow.
Homework.
Homework.
Crossover's coming up next.